On Saturday, September 17th, Texas A&M and Alabama did not play football. It was a day that will never be forgotten. The day Hurricane Gilbert shifted southwest to Mexico and left nothing but blue skies at Kyle Field. That was the scene. Here were the headlines. A hurricane of mammoth proportions had its eye on the Gulf Coast of Texas. The direction of the turbulent storm did turn, but the tide's direction didn't. Alabama was never airborne.
From the Corps of Cadets to Alabama, you can run, but you can't hide.
It's real bad, because I had a date and everything.
Looking like that?
Yeah, looking like this even.
Now it's December. As was the case in September, the field conditions remain good again tonight as the Aggies of A&M hope to fend off the tide. It's been a tough week for Alabama coach Bill Curry. Coming off a narrow loss to Auburn, the embattled second-year coach matches wits with an Alabama alum, Jackie Sherrill. He's got his own share of off-the-field problems, all week denying reports that this game would be his last. With turmoil surrounding them both, Bill Curry and Jackie Sherrill are finally looking ahead to the game at hand, something they look very much forward to. The Aggies are led by sophomore sensation running back Darren Lewis. But their backup quarterbacks, Chris Osgood and Lance Pavlis, will have to handle the pressure of Butkus Award winner Derek Thomas. For Alabama's senior quarterback David Smith, the task is much the same. He'll have to handle the Blitz brothers, Aaron Wallace and John Roper. It's defense versus defense at College Station. Welcome to the Hurricane Bowl, everyone. The skies are fine. The chance of a hurricane, none. Basically, what we're telling you is it's a beautiful night here in College Station, Texas, for the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Aggies of Texas A&M. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Brando, along with Lee Corso. And, Coach, we start this game with an interesting irony, really, when you consider the personnel that the two teams had on September 17th. Versus December 1.
Yes, David Smith, the quarterback from Alabama, was not available for game one. He's ready now, and some people actually say that's why Alabama canceled the game. That's ridiculous. Bucky Richardson, A&M quarterback, ready for number one, not ready for number two. That puts a lot of pressure on the second quarterback from A&M, Lance Pavlis. He's a good thrower, though I wouldn't be surprised if A&M didn't come out and throw the ball early on the Crimson Tide.
Folks, there's only one college football analyst that can be found in the booth in 1988 that really has an understanding and true appreciation for what problems have beset both Bill Curry and Jackie Sherrill, and that's you.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Jackie Sherrill, but he's a winner. He's won over 70% of his games. He won at Pittsburgh. He won here at Texas. I would not be surprised if he does resign, which is a rumor he will, that he will be in the National Football League next year as a head football coach. But if he does resign, look for Jack Pardee of Houston to be the next head coach at Texas A&M. Why? Two reasons. One, he's a winner, and two, he's an Aggie.
There's a big difference, though, with the problems Curry's had.
Yeah, Curry now's got a vote of confidence. Curry's a good football coach. He's an honest man. He's got integrity. He's got an excellent staff. He deserves a chance to stay at Alabama, and I'm glad they're going to give him a chance to do that.
That vote of confidence came today, Lee. As we reported on College Game Day last week, a group of alumni reportedly were gathering $2 million to buy out his contract. Well, today, the acting president put that story to rest.
Bill Curry is our football coach. He will be our football coach tomorrow, next week, next year, and at least the next 3 years and beyond.
By the spring, Mr. Sayers may be not only the interim president, but the president, thereby slamming the door on all of the rumors. All right, it's time to play football, and to talk more about this game, on the sidelines with us, Chris Fowler. Chris?
Okay, thanks very much, Tim. You know, with all the talk about controversy in the Hurricane Bowl and the coaches' problems, it's easy to forget that there are some great players in this game tonight, with a lot of the offensive stars a little banged up. Look for two great defensive teams led by the linebackers. For Alabama, they have Derek Thomas, the Butkus Award winner. Keep an eye on number 55 in white tonight. He will fly all over the field towards the ball. Now, for Texas A&M, they also have a great group of linebackers led by John Roper. He's an All-American, and teams all year long have run away from his side of the field. Now, because of all the focus on weather here, and because weather is the reason we are here tonight and not in September, we brought in 2 weather experts to give us their forecast for tonight's game.
Hi, I'm Kip Tyner at WCFT-TV in Tuscaloosa, and here's the forecast for success for the Crimson Tide tonight. Despite heavy turbulence, Bill Curry's team must survive on the forces of a crimson tidal wave. Quarterback David Smith hopes to pass through the jet streams, and the crosswinds are blowing lightly. But that's tied in Howard Cross, incidentally. Bama linebacker Derek Thomas will provide a huge high-pressure system against the Aggie offense. And now it's time to hail the Tide.
Okay, that forecast doesn't seem completely balanced, so we go to someone for the Texas side with a forecast for the Aggies' fortunes tonight.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Bruce Thomas of KBTX here in Aggieland. Tonight's forecast is much clearer than the stormy date of last September. You can see right here on the map that the skies are generally clear. The Blitz brothers, along with the Wrecking Crew defense, are forecast to provide all the storminess the Tide can handle. Sophomore running back sensation Darren Lewis will be using lightning speed to carry him past Bama defenders. The A&M offensive line will provide a strong front for quarterbacks Chris Osgood and Lance Pavlis passing attacks. The pressure is currently building over Kyle Field. Here come the Aggies.
So the Aggies are ready, and so are the Tide. Tonight's game between Texas A&M and Alabama is being brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By your Service America heating and air conditioning dealer. We keep America comfortable. And by the new Right Guard Squirt Stick from Gillette. Antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized. We'll be back with the opening kickoff from Kyle Field in just a moment.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. People who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
Now, the final chapter, students, in Bosworth's book of etiquette, personal hygiene. How will you separate yourselves from those barbaric hordes that exude a most malodorous air? Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Maximum protection and a fresh scent. A veritable olfactory medley. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized. Raise your glasses, gentlemen, to civilization.
First, my dog ran away. So to cheer myself up, I bought an expensive TV, and it came with a remote. Then my girlfriend left me, so I bought a VCR, and it came with a remote. Then I was transferred to the Yukon Territory, and it came with a remote. Then I was audited by the IRS, and they came with remotes. So to simplify my life, I bought a Memorex CP8 Universal Remote, which could do everything 8 different remotes could do. Then I was happy. In fact, the happiest cold and lonely guy stuck in the Yukon without a dog.
You're looking at the head football coach at Alabama, Bill Curry, 14-8, now in his second season at Alabama. And as we pointed out many times on ESPN, Lee, he really has to endure a lot of problems because of the injuries that he's had this year. When you lose the players that they've lost, you're going to have some problems offensively.
You lose a player like Humphrey, and just Humphrey itself is 1 or 2 ball games. And remember, the man has won 7 ball games. It's not like that he hasn't won a lot of games, but remember, he's at Alabama. and Alabama is the bear, and Alabama is national championships. It's different than most places.
And of course, Jackie Sherrill knows all about the pride of Alabama, and here at Texas A&M, some of the color and pageantry here, and you can tell much of the focus of the local media all week long has been on Jackie Sherrill. Virtually every television station that can be seen in College Station has been reporting that this would be, in fact, his last game, with inside sources within the athletic department being their sources all week long.
Well, one of the reasons is the NCAA, as you know, has put sanctions on the A&M program, and anytime the NCAA comes around and talks about a football coach, it automatically puts him in a vulnerable position to the media.
This series between these two has had some outstanding games, the most recent of which was in 1985 in a game that was seen on ESPN, won by Alabama 23-10 when Ray Perkins was the head coach, who, by the way, was a teammate of Jackie Sherrill's. Alabama leads the series 2-1, and the first meeting was back in 1942 in the Cotton Bowl game. Obviously, because this game is being played, Lee, here in College Station, Texas, the 12th man, which of course was instituted by Jackie Sherrill, could very easily come to the forefront early against an Alabama kick return team that's one of the best in the country.
The 12th man is a group of walk-on volunteers from the student body that Jackie Sherrill picks out for their enthusiasm. Look at them. They love it. They got towels, and the whole crowd comes alive when the 12th man comes up. Now, the one thing you can do against the 12th man is sometimes with their enthusiasm, split them, and if you do, watch out. You can go a long ways against the 12th man sometime.
And that is the kicker for Texas A&M, Lane Talbot of the 12th man kickoff team, number 4, who is preparing to boot this one and get it underway. And of course, for Texas A&M, this is the final game for many seniors, and we know how special that game always is.
And also, we're talking about the 12th man, so that if somebody doesn't understand it, it comes from past history where a man had to come out of the stands for Texas A&M a long time ago.
William Kent and Pierre Good are back deep for Alabama. Good a yard deep in the end zone. Out to the 25-yard line. It will be first down and 10 for Alabama. Derek Nazer made the stop for the Aggies. David Smith will be at quarterback for the Crimson Tide. Kevin Turner and Murray Hill will be his setback, set behind him. Marco Battle and the leading receiver, Greg Payne, out of Montgomery, will be his targets, along with Howard Cross, a downfield blocking gem. The center is Roger Schultz. He'll be flanked up front by Rose and Robinette. And we'll set the tackles for you in a moment. First and 10. Up the middle they go right away to Murray Hill. Aaron Wallace made the stop. Terrell Chapman and John Trumargan are the tackles for the Crimson Tide of Alabama up front offensively. Defensively, John Martin, just a freshman, will be the nose. And the 3-man up defensive front is flanked with Leon Cole along with Terry Price. And we'll set the linebackers and defensive backs for you in just a moment. Second down coming up. And 6 yards to go out of the eye. And the pitch to Murray Hill, cracking through for 3 yards off the left side. Terry Price made the stop, the right defensive end. The rest of that Aggie defense, the linebackers, John Roper and Aaron Wallace, the Blitz brothers, watch for them all night. Adam Bobb and Dana Batiste are pretty good as well, the inside linebackers. Alex Morris and Mickey Washington are the cornerbacks for Texas A&M. And the safeties, Lafayette Turner and Gary Jones. Third down now, 2 yards to go for the Crimson Tide. Setback split. We'll play fake now, and Smith throws, and he has his man. That's the tight end cutting across Howard Cross, 15 yards and a first down for Alabama. Dana Batiste and Gary Jones were there to make the stop.
Nice little bootleg action by number 13, Smith. He rolled out to his left. He's a left-handed, which makes it easy to throw. He hits the big tight end, 6'6", Cross coming across. Nice call because it faked the running play early and came right for bootleg.
Payne goes flank to the top of your screen. First down, Alabama. Murray Hill up to the 49, and that's all. John Martin, the middle guard, just a freshman. They wanted to redshirt him. Couldn't do it because they lost O'Brien and so many other stars on that defensive front that was in the Cotton Bowl a year ago for Texas A&M. Gain of 2, second down and 8 as Reveille barks in preparation for this Hurricane Bowl finale.
That's Reveille, number 5.
Second and 8, Alabama. Play fake again. Smith with time. And again, it's Cross, the tight end. I see with another first down after an 11-yard gain. William Thomas made the stop out of New Hope, Alabama, number 85.
Cross is 6'6", 246 from New Hope, Alabama. As you notice, he'll settle into one area, and then he puts his hand up to make sure that Smith can see him. And he catches the ball nicely right down and cradles it as it comes in low for a first down for Alabama.
Pierre Good is now in the game now for the Crimson Tide. First down. This is just what Curry wanted. Ball control in the opening drive, and Murray Hill makes the corner down to the 34-yard line. Adam Bobb, along with Mickey Washington, the inside linebacker and right cornerback, respectively, made the stop. Bobb out of Lafayette, Louisiana, a senior. Jackie Sherrill's had a way of going in and getting his fair share from the border state.
Bobb was the defensive player in the Cotton Bowl last year. He's the most valuable player in that Cotton Bowl game last year.
Second down, 4 yards to go. Out of an eye set, Alabama. And that's number 34, Robert Stewart, checking into the game. Cracking up the middle, Terry Price made the stop. Looks to be shy of the first down.
You talk about a load. Stewart is 6 foot, 253-pound sophomore, a former linebacker. They love to run him in there in the middle as they fake the toss play to the outside to Murray Hill.
So far, a lot of third down in short yardage situations, which is just what the Alabama offense needed coming in. 3rd and 1. So Sneak and Smith that will depend entirely upon where they spot this one. Martin and Leon Cole, the middle guard and end, falling on top of David Smith. When we talked about ball control, Smith is the kind of quarterback, and Jackie Sherrill mentioned it to us yesterday, Lee. He'll dink you to death for that short passing game, and he's a very smart player that really knows the talent he has and makes good use of it.
He has one of the best quarterback coaches in the country, and Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays for him. That really helps when you got a smart quarterback that's got a brilliant quarterback coach. The two make for a winner.
And they will measure this. Bill Curry looks on. This is the Hurricane Bowl. The Chamber of Commerce here in College Station has gotten behind it. The student body loves the idea because of the NCAA sanctions. Texas A&M does not get a bowl game. You see how much yardage they really need, and Bill Curry says, hey, go for it, guys, and why not? They're even having hurricane parties in Tuscaloosa. Our Carrie Ross is there, and we'll be hearing from her and seeing the activity in Alabama a bit later.
It's 4th down and less than a yard. Most football teams with less than a yard will use the quarterback sneak. Let's see if Alabama goes to that strategy.
9th play of the drive coming up for Alabama. Setback split behind Smith. Now they dot the I. Castile has the first down inside the 25 to the 24. The senior from Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. William Thomas and Adam Bond combined on the stop for the Aggies.
That was an interesting call. They went to the quarterback sneak the last time. This time they go to the lead play, which means they're going to drive a man leading for Castile. Nice call because it got a lead blocker in to clear out the linebackers. First down, Alabama.
And there's all kinds of movement now along the defensive and offensive fronts. We'll see if it was premature on the part of Alabama or if, in fact, the folks from College Station made the initial move. Curry looking on, and it's against A&M. Take a look at this blocking from that great downfield blocking tight end Cross.
Boy, he gets good. Watch number 85. He gets good position. He drops right into number 85. Cross does, and gets his tail nice and low and gets good football position and knocks Roper 83 off the line.
First down and 5 now for Alabama. Turner is in the game at the fullback spot. And he will lead block here. And coming up quickly, Dana Batiste to make the stop against Murray Hill, who was trying the left side down to the 19-yard line. Batiste out of Spring, Texas, a senior. He once told a sports writer that his roommate was crazy. Who was that roommate, you asked? Roper. I guess he could get away with it. Nope. That's right. Second down now. Play fake again. Smith with room. Shoots it out to the right side, and he has his man. That's Brett Payne down to the 9-yard line. Alex Morris made the stop after a 10-yard gain, and the Crimson Tide rolling along right now with a great drive.
It's that same bootleg action. In other words, they'll fake a sweep one way, get the linebackers to go one way, and they get isolation. Payne, number 6 on number 30, Morris. Good call because it fakes the boot plays. It fakes the boot, which gives it a run. Now here comes number 74, Rose. He gets a good block on the bootleg play.
Ball's inside the 10 now. They pitch it to the wide side of the field, and Castile is stopped behind the line. Terry Price again, along with Aaron Wallace, one of the Blitz brothers, in to make the stop. We have played just over 5 minutes in the first quarter, and Alabama has had the ball the entire way in a very consistent ball control drive.
Beautiful drive. You're running a tailback to the right, a tailback to the left, a fullback into the middle. You've noticed that Roper and Wallace are great football players, but one thing that Alabama's doing, they're tricking them. They're faking one way and bootlegging on them. That's why the Blitz brothers aren't in there that much.
Smith will throw now. He just unloaded that one in the direction of Marco Battle. Alex Mars was over there. Either they were confused on the route, or Smith just unloaded it because he was getting some pressure.
At the 10-yard line.
So now third down coming up. Really, the first third and long situation. The first third and long situation that's faced Alabama in this 14-play drive.
Alabama will do one thing here. They'll either go to the wideouts with something crossing, but watch that tight end, number 81. They love Russell in these kind of situations from the shotgun.
Lamond Russell, number 81, as Lee mentioned, thought of as the better receiver of the two tight ends. Out of the shotgun, and this is a freebie. Texas A&M was offsides. They unload it to Stewart. He's in for the touchdown. Robert Stewart, the sophomore, in for Alabama. See Tuscaloosa's reaction. The Hurricane Bowl is a happening. The varsity club in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And we have a marker down, so hang on. As we mentioned, it was a freebie. Texas A&M was offside. Now the extra point to come from Philip Doyle. Smith knew he had that one in the pocket. I could come back with another opportunity in case he missed Stewart, but Stewart got it done mostly on his own. Doyle with the extra point, and it's up and good. Almost 6 minutes off the clock, and the Crimson Tide of Alabama in a 14-play drive have a 7-0 lead.
You don't have to buy a sports car to get a 5-speed transmission, power steering, AM/FM stereo cassette, fuel-injected engine, anti-lock rear brakes, 6 years, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. How do you get all this for under $10,000? Simple. You buy this newly designed Ford Ranger XLT with all these sports car features, plus a really big trunk. Get up to $500 cash bonus on Ford Ranger, the best-selling compact truck in America.
Hi, am I glad you're here? You know what I figured out? Cinemax has around 130 different movies a month. That's them big movies, exciting movies, funny movies. Now Showtime, on the other hand, has half as many. How are they able to do that? Does Showtime call up and go, excuse me, can we have a month that has less days in it, please? No, I'll tell you how they do it. They show more repeats. They show the same movies over and over again, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't say, please show me another movie. Please, I know all the dialogue to this movie.
At 16 Bedford Street, the toast is with fine crystal. On Astor Lane, a powerful telescope probes the night sky. And over on Shore Road, a new TV is entertaining the Kagans. All these things were bought with Visa Gold, which protects them against loss, theft, damage, and doubles the manufacturer's warranty. And with Visa Gold, you can get this protection at nearly 3 times as many places as American Express. Visa Gold. It's everywhere you want to be.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By UPS. We deliver to every address in the U.S. and to 41 countries worldwide. And by Preferred Risk, America's non-drinkers insurance company. With Lee Corso, Chris Fowler, I'm Tim Brando. Kerry Ross is stationed in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at the varsity club where they're having an outstanding time because their team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, has a 7-0 lead.
An important drive away from home, try to score early, get the crowd out of the ball game. A nice drive by Alabama.
Philip Doyle will kick off. Rod Harris and Shane Garrett are back deep for the Aggies. Keith McAfee has also joined that group. This one will not be returned. Harris, an outstanding return man, picking it up 5 yards deep. Once again, a look at what really was a freebie for David Smith once A&M was offside.
Right, the left-hand side of your picture, you watch number 34, Stewart roll out to his right. He gets the ball. Now, this is it. 253 pounds, and you think that number 48's going to tackle? No way. That linebacker was all the way, and then Smith happy, touchdown, Alabama.
And you see the scoring drive, 75 yards, almost 6 minutes off the clock. First down, Texas A&M out of the eye. Who else? Darren Lewis. Can expect him to carry the ball 30 times tonight. Now, at quarterback, Lance Pavlis pressed into duty because of the injury to Richardson. Wilson and Lewis are his running backs. You'll hear a lot more from them. Rod Harris and Gary Oliver are the wide receivers. The tight end is Brian Ross. And up front, the center, Mike Arthur out of Houston, Texas, flanked by guards Richmond Webb and the All-American Jerry Fontenot. McCall and Moon are the tackles. Second down, 11 yards to go, Texas A&M. The pitch to Lewis, and there he goes. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line, and a great maneuver by Lewis just coming up with that pitch.
It was an automatic. Alabama jumped into a defense real tough. Now notice the number of white jerseys in the middle. Pavlis automatic to the outside, pitched the ball beautifully on the pitch out to number 25 Lewis. Good downfield blocking by number 17 Harris. Good automatic by Pavlis on the line of scrimmage.
Jackie Sherrill looks on his team with a first down at the 30-yard line out of an I formation. Harris flanked to the top of your screen. Darren Lewis again. Catapults for a couple of yards. Tommy Cole there to make the stop. Willie Wyatt is the nose guard for Alabama. Derek Thomas, the Butkus Award winner, and Spencer Hammond, also a hard hitter, are the outside linebackers. The cornerbacks are John Mangum and Kermit Kendrick out of Meridian, Mississippi. And the rest of that Alabama defense will outline for you in a moment. Larry Horton is in the game now at one running back spot as Lewis is checked out for Texas A&M. Setback split behind Pavlis. On second down, he'll look to air it out. Over the middle, he goes to Brian Ross to the 40-yard line. Willie Shepard, the linebacker, the sophomore from Pritchard, Alabama, made the stop after the 9-yard pickup. Well, we've seen both teams utilize the tight end early on.
A&M's doing a lot of automatic. Now watch in the middle of the field. Ross will come in wide open like he was popped out of the ground. The reason why he was so wide open, both linebackers from Alabama split to the outside. Pavlis called an automatic and hit right smack in the middle of the field.
First and 10, and there's the delayed counter, and it could be broken. A great run by Robert Wilson, the fullback, and boy, was Alabama crossed up there. Lee Osment saved the touchdown after the 35-yard gain.
Watch the inside linebackers. They'll both go to the right because of the fake. Now, number 32, Wilson from Houston, Texas, gets to the inside, then he breaks to the outside. Only a good play by Osment. Saves a touchdown. The reason that play went is the good pursuit of the linebackers from Alabama.
Lewis is in the game now. Darren Lewis. Wilson also in at fullback, and we have a marker down. Jackie Sherrill and Joe Avazano to his side, the offensive coordinator, one-time head coach at Oregon State, as we take a look at some NBA scores occurring tonight.
Dead ball, false start, offense. First down.
Wendell Shelton out of the Southwest Conference is our referee tonight. This is a split crew, Southwest Conference officials and SEC officials for this game. That's the longest run, by the way, a 35-yarder by Wilson in his career at Texas A&M. First down now, and 15. Wilson again, not much room. The Alabama defense anchored by Willie Wyatt, the junior, 6 foot, 262-pounder out of Gardendale, Alabama, making the stop. He was the 5A player of the year in 1985, was Wyatt. They've had their share of great recruits over the past 2 or 3 years. It's 7-0 Alabama with 6:48 to play at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. I'm Tim Brando along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. Setbacks are split now. Harris, the intended receiver, covered nicely over there by cornerback John Mangum, the junior out of McGee, Mississippi.
Pavlis automatic that one also. If you notice, there was one-on-one coverage with number 29 Mangum right there. What the quarterback from Texas A&M is doing, he's coming up and counting the number of people. If there's too many people inside from Alabama, he's running the option to the outside. If they're spread out, he's running the ball to the fullback. Nice game plan for Texas A&M right now.
Harris flanked to the top of the screen now. They send him in motion. On 3rd and 14, there's Derek Thomas, once again involved on a 3rd down play, catching up with Pavlis in his backfield. Get ready, because we'll call number 55's number a few more times.
As we mentioned, the Downtown Athletic Club of Orlando gave the Butkus Award to Derek Thomas, and you can see why here. Pavlis drops back to pass, but on the left-hand side of your picture, you'll see a little stunt, which means that Thomas started to his left and came up to the inside, and he's strong enough to take that quarterback and just throw him down.
All right, David Bump. There you see Derek Thomas, 6'4", 230-pounder. David Bump, number 61, the backup snapper, is holding now for Scott Slater, who will try from his 40. We'll call it a 49-yard field goal, and it's good. Both offenses have been outstanding here in the first 8.5 minutes. It's 7-3 Alabama.
With its 24-valve V6 engine, double overhead cams, and 220 horsepower, the new Ford Taurus SHO isn't for everyone. In fact, only a select number will experience this sport interior and performance suspension. The new limited production Ford Taurus SHO. Power in the hands of a fortunate few.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Oh, give me land, lots of land under sunny skies above. Don't fence me in.
Now UPS delivers to every country in Western Europe, the Pacific Rim, Down Under, and Canada. And because we're so efficient, we can deliver your international parcels and documents for fewer francs, yen, or drachmas than other companies charge.
Don't fence me in.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Johnny is the victim of an epidemic. It's called drunk driving. This message presented by Preferred Risk, America's non-drinkers insurance company.
Important to keep an eye on the emotional state of these teams. Now, Bill Curry told us last night he thought A&M might have an edge because it's a home game and the Hurricane Bowl hoopla has been played up. That's also the last game for their seniors, while Alabama has a bowl game. But the tide was not flat. They came right out and drove down the field, so they proved their coach wrong, fellas.
There's no question about that, and the manner in which they did it with the short passing game using 4 separate receivers, 5 different running backs, that was truly the catalyst in that drive.
But Texas A&M came back and at least got 3, which is better than nothing.
Lane Talbot will kick off again for the 12th man. Pierre Good along with Kent back deep. This one will come down to Good at the 18, and he fumbles. It's covered at the 12-yard line by Alabama. Good was in the general area, so was Stacy Harrison. He may have been the one that came up with it. Actually, Good did. tried to catch that one a bit too close to him here as he came in.
He overran it. In other words, it's like a baseball player coming in on center field and the ball went over on him. Now, he just got to break down and catch the ball in his stomach and don't be worried about the ball moving.
First down with the ball at the 17, Alabama. The scoring drive, 47 yards, 3:24 off the clock for Texas A&M. Draw play, Murray Hill cuts back nicely to the 25-yard line. Well, the Alabama arsenal is really working at full throttle right now. Terry Price, along with Gary Jones, making the stop after a 13-yard gain. There you see the numbers on Hill. He, too, injured after that great Kentucky game he had, 76-yard touchdown run in that comeback win against UK, and then he was hurt, and that also hurt the Crimson Tide this year. He'll dot the I now on first down. Kevin Turner checking on the possible audible. And that's the reason he checked. He got the ball, although he got no yardage.
It always amazes me. The quarterback will take all that time, call a beautiful automatic, and the guy will lose a yard. He should have gone with the other play. At least maybe they made 1.5 yards.
Adam Bob had something to do with it. He made the stop, the inside linebacker. Well, we may be seeing one of the best ensembles of linebackers on both of these teams that you could find in college football. Bob inside with Dana Batiste, teamed with the Blitz brothers for Texas A&M. Second down and 10. Smith will roll and hit Payne at the 31-yard line. Alex Mars, the senior from Arlington, Texas. He played at Sam Houston High School, making the stop, number 30 for the Aggies. Pickup of 5. And it will be third down and 5 yards to go for Alabama. Numbers on Smith so far, 5 out of 6, 51 yards. Some question the length of his ability as far as passing goes. Bill Curry doesn't. He believes the youngster can fire it downfield. They just take advantage of the short passing game in their offensive scheme. Third down, Smith looking long for Payne, and it's intercepted by Mickey Washington. Well, that pass wasn't short. It was too long.
One of the reasons why they're going after number 1 Washington is against Texas. Washington was beaten for a long touchdown pass, and that's what scouting said. It said one-on-one. It got Payne on him, but Washington makes good pass protection, and the ball is thrown to the outside of him as Washington looks like a receiver. You know why? He was a former receiver at Texas A&M that moved to defensive back.
Robert Wilson and Darren Lewis are the setbacks now for Texas A&M out of the turnover. There goes Lewis, spinning, weaving his way to the 41-yard line. Osment made contact first. He bounced off of him, and John Mangum polished up. Gain of 6, second down and 4 yards to go. Mangum out of McGee, Mississippi, led his team to a couple of back-to-back state titles in McGee, Mississippi. Corralling the All-American running back, Darren Lewis. What a career he has in front of him, just a sophomore. He dots the I now. Problem there on the exchange. And Alabama, for a moment, appeared to be on top of it, but Pavlis once again fell on it.
Anytime that referee comes up with his fingers up like 3, that means third down. It doesn't make any difference which way he's pointed. If he's got his fingers up, that's third down.
Third down and 4 yards to go now facing Waddle. You see the time remaining, 2:36 and counting. Alabama with a 7-3 lead. Had a marvelous touchdown drive and just recently turned it over on the pass interception by Washington. Option, and Pavlis turns it back up for the first down to the 46, maybe the 47-yard line. Derek Thomas made the stop. What more can we say about him? He has truly been a man on a mission this season, Derek Thomas.
85 Thomas is playing the right-hand side of your picture. As 55 Thomas moves into the inside, he makes the tackle. He's from Miami, Florida, 6'4", 230, an outstanding football player. He's going to be a great pro outside linebacker.
And you know, they really do line him up everywhere, and that's really the difference between the system that he's been working under and the one Cornelius Bennett had when he was at Alabama a couple of years ago. First down, 10, Texas A&M. The option pitch, Lewis. Lee Osment just would not let him go. Nice run support there by Osment coming up out of that rover spot. He had a hernia that kept him out of spring practice, but he came on strong. He's leading this team in interceptions with 6 coming in. Don't forget, we've got a big Saturday of college football. Pittsburgh and Syracuse will start it out. Lee Corso will join Roger Twibble for that, and then Kevin Kiley and Bob Carpenter and Chris Fowler will be on hand in Miami as BYU takes on Miami, and we'll have Jimmy Johnson on at halftime with Coach Corso and yours truly. Second down, Pavlis flushed out of the pocket. Thomas and others in pursuit, and Lance Pavlis has a first down. Spencer Hammond and Thomas will be winded after that jaunt, trying to catch up with number 12.
Pavlis drops back, but Alabama makes a critical mistake. Right to your left-hand side of your picture, Thomas makes a mistake of going inside and allowing the outside path for number 12, Pavlis. Obviously, Thomas is human. He does make mistakes every once in a while.
Lance Pavlis out of Tomball, Texas. Sophomore, 6'2", 185-pounder. Larry Horton and Robert Wilson are now the setbacks behind him. Wilson moves into the slot leg. First down. Wilson in motion, and we've got markers down prior to the snap. Could be too much time by Texas A&M. The clock may have run out. Jackie Sherrill checking with his official.
First down.
Wendell Shelton giving us the official word. Want to see the most thankless job in football, the man following Jackie Sherrill, the man holding the cable. Did you ever have one of those that you knew well?
I couldn't get a walk-on to do that.
Darren Lewis and Wilson are now the setbacks. Lewis dots the I, and he's cracked down by Tommy Cole, the tackle, 6'2", 257-pounder. Great read by Tommy Cole. Bill Curry calls him a Smurf tackle.
He's built like the old-time tackles like Mo Gillespie from Maryland, the All-American, 6'2", like a fire plug. From Jasper, Alabama, but he utilizes his quickness, and that time he just beat the offensive line from A&M with a quick inside move.
Bench press is 380. Haven't met many Smurfs that could do that. In fact, that's the first Smurf that wasn't a wide receiver I ever saw. Larry Horton now in the game along with Wilson at the running back spots. Second down and long. Pavlis finally dragged down by Thomas at the 44-yard line. Well, Don Lindsay can be proud of that star. He's had many of them at that strike linebacker position.
55 Thomas has one thing you can't coach, closing speed. Watch the ability from him to move 1-2 step. He moves 2 steps quicker than any defensive lineman I've seen this year, and that's what they call closing speed.
Look at that, 48 career sacks at Alabama. That's an Alabama record just reported by Derek Thomas. And that's the end of the first quarter. The Crimson Tide of Alabama and the Aggies of Texas A&M in the first Hurricane Bowl ever played in College Station. The Tide leads.
Millions of miles and millions of cars, more of them every year. They're riding on Kendall Motor Oil. That's what I hear.
Every year, more Americans discover the protection that only comes with the unique, pure quality of Kendall Motor Oil.
They're riding on Kendall Motor Oil, year after year.
Kendall, protection worth its weight in gold for more than 100 years.
Oh, Harold, it's lovely.
I hope you like it.
It reminds me of when we first got electric light back when I was a child. Oh. Daddy used to draw his chair up to that light and read to us. Oh, the memories. But Harold, this is the 80s. And I wanted a Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Kill the light, will you, Harold?
Oh, because everything else is just a light. Over the years, Wheaties has always been the breakfast of champions. Because we've always stood for the best. With what we put inside the box and who we put outside. Today we welcome our newest champion. And we've never stood quite as tall.
The most powerful engine in its class. 4 doors, room for 5. Available 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. We've done our part in separating Jeep Cherokee from everything else. Now it's your turn.
Save up to $1,600 on select 1989 Jeep Cherokees.
ESPN Saturday Stampede. Unstoppable power unleashed every week. A thundering herd of the country's best college football teams colliding throughout the day live. See the bowl-bound Syracuse Orangemen battle the Pitt Panthers right before Miami tries to keep its national championship hopes alive against BYU. It's the regular season finale, Saturday on ESPN.
It all begins with College Game Day on Saturday. It's our final Saturday of the regular season on ESPN, and we do have an outstanding doubleheader coming your way. Beginning with that fine afternoon game that you'll have. Pitt and Syracuse. Syracuse obviously getting ready for the Hall of Fame Bowl in LSU.
And Syracuse is a dynamite football team, particularly in the Carrier Dome.
7-3 our score here. Tim Brando along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. We're set to get the second quarter underway, and Bill Curry has to be happy with his defense and his offense so far. You see the real storyline, College Station. Alabama with a 14-play drive. Lewis with 6 rushes for just 14 yards, and Thomas with a pair of sacks. First down, Texas A&M. The third down, I beg your pardon, and Lewis carries. Into Alabama territory at the 42. Derek Thomas and Lee Osmond combine on the stop. This is primarily a running team, and for that reason, number 25.
Nice little pitch out, left-handed pitch out by Pavlis as he runs through number 96 Shepard. Good play by number 25 Lewis. The good thing about Lewis is he runs low to the ground and drops that shoulder. He's a powerful runner.
Sean Wilson will now punt the ball away for Texas A&M. Murray Hill for Alabama is back deep, standing at his 10-yard line. High, tight spiral. Hill will let it bounce. And it just gets into the end zone for the touchback. And Alabama will start at their 20-yard line after the 42-yard punt by Sean Wilson. So far, the special teams for Alabama have not been a factor. And you wonder why there's been a lot of heat on Bill Curry. That's the reason.
40 bowl wins. When they go to the next one, will be 41-11 national championships. They're going to the Sun Bowl, but look at that, 4th in all-time wins. Michigan, Notre Dame, Texas, and Alabama. Now, as you said, now you understand why when you go to that place, it's a hot seat. But you know what? Curry wouldn't have it any other way.
No, he wants to coach. As he told us last night, if I'm not coaching at Alabama, I'll be coaching somewhere. And there will always be a member of Intercollegiate Athletics who would like to have him as the head coach. Out to the 25-yard line for Alabama. Adam Bobb making the stop. Kevin Turner along with Castile. Castile getting the ball that time for the Crimson Tide. They've used already in this game, Alabama, 6 running backs.
They'll need to, because the defensive linebackers like Bob there, who's from Lafayette, Louisiana, they'll pound the guys so much that the more there's a game going on, there's more chance that there's for a fumble.
Second down 4. Castile is in the game now, along with Stewart. And there goes Castile up to the 30-yard line. That may be enough for the first down. Terry Price and Dana Batiste made the stop for Texas A&M. Don't forget, coming up Sunday, NFL Game Day with Chris Berman, Pete Axtell, and Tom Jackson. NFL Primetime with all the scores and highlights. John Saunders will join that trio. And then up the road, only a few miles at the Astrodome in Houston, Jerry Glanville's Oilers to take on Chuck Noll and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we all know of the war of words between those two coaches a year ago. They'll renew their rivalry. First down, 10, Alabama. Out of the shotgun, Stewart gets it. Once again, a great call by the Alabama offensive staff. It's a first down beyond the 40 to the 42. Batiste again with Adam Bobb combining on the stop. Right now, Bill Curry's the maestro, pulling all the strings here.
Homer Smith made a great call. They lined up and gave the Texas A&M team a perception that it was going to be a forward pass. They ran a nice little draw play. They're using Stewart, that big former linebacker, fullback going. Must be a hard-knocking game because he's a strong runner.
First down, 10, Alabama. The pitch to Castile behind Turner and company. That's an awfully difficult play to have work against Texas A&M's lateral pursuit. Roper and Adam Bobb. Very rarely do you see teams run successfully at that side of the field against Texas A&M.
Keep your eye on the inside linebackers, especially number 48, Batiste. Number 24, Bob plays it, but watch 48. He gets in on the ball carrier, too. One of the good things you can do as a defensive coach is check the number of different colored jerseys around the ball. That time, there were 5 maroon jerseys around the ball carrier.
We have an injured member of the Crimson Tide being tended to right now. We haven't been able to pick up any numerals, so we'll let you know as soon as we have the obstruction released. It's number 76, offensive lineman John Frumorgan, the tackle out of Tampa, Florida, senior. We have 12 minutes and 27 seconds left to be played in the second quarter, and Alabama leading this game by a score of 7-3. They appear to be looking at his knee.
His right knee. The trainer from Alabama is Bill McDonnell. He was a Georgia Tech trainer for 16 years, and he followed Bill Curry over to the Alabama team.
Look at the upper part of your screen here as we watch this play develop, a number 76 on the left-hand side, Coach.
You could just watch his left and right knee right there. Somebody's going to come in, and if it's planted on the ground, no, it'll be all right, and I'll tell you why. He stretches it out there at the last minute.
It was Roper, 83, that rolled over that leg and caught him in the bad position. They'll check on him, and we'll return to College Station in a moment.
What's the training with the latest state-of-the-art equipment? And with our specialized training, our graduates are prepared for great jobs in computers, broadcast engineering, robotics, telecommunications, and more. If you're not satisfied with your present career, then call Retz now.
I'm Jackie from Retz. If you'd like more information on financial aid or job opportunities, then call me now at 251-7962. 251-7962.
This is the Goodies Extra Strength formula that you made the best-selling headache powder in the Southeast. The same reliable brand that's been relieving the pain and discomfort of headaches, arthritis, muscular aches and colds for more than 50 years. And the very same extra strength formula that Goodies has now made into a tablet. Goodies Extra Strength tablets and powders. Now, isn't that a relief?
You're looking at a winner. It's Ford, America's best-selling truck line. And it wins in loyalty, too, with the highest percentage of repeat buyers of any full line of light trucks.
See the entire lineup of tough Ford trucks during the Ford Truck Month celebration.
I'm Carrie Ross at the Varsity in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at a hurricane party. These Alabama fans are watching the eye of the storm over College Station. They have their rain gear. The windows are boarded up. Tim, roll tide has turned into high tide, and we're having a great time.
All right, Carrie, thank you very much. And we'll be checking in with her and hearing from Carrie again at halftime. A lot to cheer about so far. 12-18 to play in the first half. Alabama with the ball, second down and 9. Play action, and there's one of the Blitz brothers, Aaron Wallace, with the sack.
Wallace came from a blitz from the outside, but they also blitzed number 5. Lafayette Turner, the strong safety. Was too many men coming from both sides. Now watch to your left-hand side of your picture. You'll see number 23, Wallace, coming in from the blind side. But the right-hand side of your picture, number 5, is a strong safety. That caused the blitz because it forced the fullback to block to the right.
Third down 20 for the Tide, and the fans are on their feet. Well, it worked once. They'll go to the well again, and Castile is stopped. Baptiste got there, and so did Mickey Washington. Oh, they're happy in College Station, aren't they? Alabama will be forced to punt for the first time in the game. Rod Harris dropping back deep. That's number 5, Chris Moore, will handle the chores. There's Harris. In addition to being a great kick returner, he does an outstanding job on punts as well. Fair catch and a favorable bounce for Alabama. It will be down near the 10-yard line. Lamond Russell, the tight end, number 81, got down quickly to down the ball. First down, 10, Texas A&M, when we come back.
177 horses give Comanche so much power, but it's the name Jeep that gives it so much pull.
Save up to $1,700 on select 1989 Jeep Comanches.
Introducing Stanley cordless tools with power that won't quit. Because unlike many other cordless tools, the new Stanley cordless drill and cordless screwdriver are designed with removable, rechargeable battery packs. So the only time they stop working is when you do.
How does the CFO of Porsche stay ahead of the competition? AT&T. For the highest performance long-distance service, make sure you hear.
Thank you for using AT&T.
When the president of Walt Disney World goes around the world, how does he get back to Main Street, USA? AT&T. For easy access to our operators from overseas, make sure you hear.
AT&T USA Direct, may I help you?
Tonight's Hurricane Bowl is being brought to you by Jeep. There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep. By Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time. And by Dickies, they're America's favorite work clothes. With Lee Corso and Chris Fowler, Tim Brando in College Station, Texas at Kyle Field. First down, 10, Texas A&M. They trail 7-3 with under 11 minutes to play in the opening half. Darren Lewis fumbles the football, and Alabama's got it. Now they're saying Texas A&M may have it. Pavlis may have gotten back on top of it, and he did. Boy, that was recovered a second time by Pavlis because Alabama was all over the football. Bethune was over there initially.
Pavlis made a good play. By after the handoff, Pavlis just didn't sit there and wave home to the crowd. He went after the football when he saw the fumble. The man at Alabama should have fell on the ball. As we look at another angle, as soon as the ball is stripped, he should have fallen on it and not try to pick it up. Watch, he tries to pick it up and run with it.
Yep. How many times did we say that? Lewis up to about the 8-yard line after a 3-yard gain. Willie Wyatt made the stop. That was George Bethune, the end, that tried to pick the ball up rather than just fall on top of it, and it scored it free. And give Pavlis credit for coming up with the recovery. Lewis so far quieted a bit, 9 rushes for 24 yards. That's a great job by the Alabama defense when you consider he averages 6 yards every time he touches the ball. Third down, 14, Texas A&M. They're on their patio at the 8-yard line. Lewis cracks free to the 12-yard line.
Tackle by number 86, Cooper King.
Wyatt and company in on the stop, along with Thomas Ray. Chris Fowler has more on the injury situation down on the sidelines.
Yeah, Tim, John Frumorgan, the right guard for Alabama, has ice on most of his body. He twisted his ankle and also has banged up his right elbow, so he's out for the time being. Doctors will x-ray it at halftime and let us know if he'll be able to come back. All right, Chris, thank you. Sean Wilson to punt. From the 2, Murray Hill is back deep. He may have some room on this one from his 41. He found the seam, didn't he? He out-punted his coverage down to the 25-yard line, and Wilson saved the possible touchdown, and we've got a marker down.
Either the right end from Texas A&M moved or the left outside linebacker for Alabama jumped offside. It'll be interesting to see how the officials call this one.
That was a very good punt, but you could tell that
5-yard penalty, repeat, 4th down.
Yep, and a huge break for Texas A&M. Bill Curry knows it, doesn't he?
A lot of times what happens when a man outkicks his coverage, he gets plenty of room to run the ball. Also another thing, anytime a team kicks the ball from near its own end zone, it has a tendency to block longer and cover later. That's why you get good punt returns from that situation.
We told you the outstanding punt return and kick return teams that Alabama had. Wilson will try it again, and Hill at his own 43-yard line. That was a 46-yard punt moments ago and a 34-yard return. Hill will get another chance off the bounce. A little better result now for Texas A&M, isn't it? Hill stopped at the 42-yard line by the Aggies. Jeroy Robinson made the stop, a 7-yard return after a 48-yard punt. Alabama will have the ball still in great operating position offensively.
An interesting statistic so far that neither team has thrown the ball on 1st and 10, which is really what teams should do more. They should throw the ball on 1st and 10 when the other team thinks they're going to run it.
Out of an I formation, Alabama 1st down. Murray Hill up to the 47-yard line. Terry Price and Dana Baptiste combine on the stop for Texas A&M. 2nd down and 5 yards to go coming up.
Roper, number 83, from your left side of your picture. He gets good football position. The fullback takes him on, number 34, Stewart. And that's a load, 253-pound fullback.
The tight end cross now will go in motion for Alabama. 2nd down, 5. No play fake. Here comes the blitz again. Smith. That's Lamont Russell. 1st down, Alabama to the 40-yard line of Texas A&M. Dana Baptiste again there to make the stop. And the play fake really worked.
Okay, nice little play-action play by number 13, Smith. The most difficult pass to throw is a left-hander running to his right. Now watch, he makes the fake. He's got to turn his shoulders. Watch his shoulders. Any quarterback knows you throw your ball left-handed, you got to turn your shoulders. Nice hand. Russell made a great catch with his hands that time.
1st down, 10. They'll dot the I now. Alabama with Wayne Shaw in the game at a running back spot. This is Castile down to the 35, through to the 33-yard line. Leon Cole, the left defensive end, out of East Orange, New Jersey, along with Aaron Wallace, combined on the stop of Castile. Watch Howard Cross matched up with Roper here.
Cross is bigger than Roper. He's 6'6", 245. He gets in his face and drives him out. One of the blocks also by number 50, Robinette. He came around and blocked out number 48, Batiste. That's why that play went.
2nd down, and once again short yardage. 2nd and 3. Inside, a handoff to Turner. Beg your pardon, Robert Stewart. Dana Baptiste, the inside linebacker, made the stop. Tonight's student of the game is brought to you by Army. Be all you can be. Texas A&M place kicker Scott Slater has earned a 3.3 GPA, majoring in construction science, and is tonight's student of the game. If it's close, he could be player of the game because he could win the game with a field goal, and oh, they love him. They love him early. The fans here in College Station, don't they? 3rd down, a yard to go. Alabama from the 30. Russell in motion. Castile has the first down to the 28-yard line. Lafayette Turner, the strong side safety, coming up to make the stop. The junior out of Dallas, Texas, and Carter High School.
When you name a man like Lafayette Turner making a call on 3rd and 1, the man upstairs should say, no way should a strong safety be making that play. I would not be surprised if Alabama didn't fake it on 3rd and 1 and go for the bomb as the game goes on.
Don't forget, scores and highlights of all of that activity that you see on SportsCenter coming up immediately following our game. 1st and 10. Smith, incomplete. And the receiver battle a couple of yards behind it that time. That was a timing pattern that didn't time. Mickey Washington and Gary Jones were providing coverage against Battle.
It's also what they call a spot play. He throws the ball to a spot on the field. Now you'll notice number 88 will go. He's going to the outside and he breaks to his outside. The quarterback thought that he was going to run an in route to a spot. It was a perfect call, except it was poor execution.
2nd down 10 now out of the shotgun, David Smith. They've run this 3 times. It worked first. Didn't work as well the 2nd time, and worked not very well at all the 3rd time.
The reason it didn't work, number 5, Lafayette Turner's a strong safety. From a low angle, watch, the fullback will get the ball, number 34, but before he can move, anytime you see a single-digit guy in the backfield, that means there's some kind of a safety blitz. Lafayette Turner, number 5 from Dallas, Texas, Carter High School, was on the blitz and made a good play.
And it's 3rd and long now. Alabama 2 out of 6 in 3rd down conversion so far. Smith, Castile will get it, and he'll run to the wide side of the field. And A&M cracks him out of bounds short of the 1st down at the 22. Alex Morris, the senior cornerback, 6'2", 190-pounder, over to make the stop. 65,000 are on hand tonight in College Station, Texas. This game moved to Thursday night because of the Hurricane Gilbert story that we outlined for you earlier. September 17th, not many schools would have this many people on hand on a Thursday night. Doyle will try the field goal from 39 yards away. Moore to hold. And the Crimson Tide of Alabama converts on this drive. And with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to be played in the 1st half, Alabama now has a 7-3 lead. Well, the high tide is here, isn't it? Just ask Jackie Sherrill.
.177 horses give Comanche so much power, but it's the name Jeep that gives it so much pull.
Save up to $1,700 on select 1989 Jeep Comanches.
Come on, baby. Come to Daddy.
Those awkward first steps. There are times when you just can't hold your camcorder steady, and that can ruin your precious shots. So Panasonic introduces the camcorder with electronic image stabilization. It can help hold your shot steady, even when you're not. So for shots that give your family something to chatter about, get the OmniMovie camcorder with EIS from Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
One more bucket of that feed, Bob. This is a tough business. I have to spend money wisely. That's why I buy Brander's jeans. They're tough, durable, comfortable, they look good, and they're about half the price of the other jeans. So get Brander's. It's a smart buy, and that's no bull.
Brander's jeans by Dickies, priced to fit America.
You're looking now at Philip Doyle, the man for whom responsible in that last point production for Alabama. 10-3 after a 39-yard field goal. He's had an outstanding year. Back deep, McAfee, the lower portion of your screen, Keith McAfee, along with Rod Harris. The Alabama contingent is here. The band is not, something that Jackie Sherrill took time to mention. You know, he anticipated a $200,000 loss for the Merchants of College Station, with this game being played on Thursday rather than Saturday. A bone of contention that was really a part of the Cold War on Saturday, September 17th, between these two coaches. Harris feels it at his 6 on the bounce. And he's dragged down at the 18-yard line by John Sullins of Alabama. 13-yard return for the Aggies, and they'll set up shop at their own 18-yard line, first down.
With Alabama ahead 10-3, Texas A&M has been running the ball, trying to get something going with Lewis. Obviously, Alabama has set up their game plan to stop Lewis, so therefore it looks like they might have to throw the ball, either play action or get those wideouts in the game.
Horton and Wilson are now in the backfield for Texas A&M. Horton in the slot. Havlis will roll that way. Markers are down. Havlis looks to unload it and finally gets out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Fans are a little upset that Shepard made such a big hit along with McCants, the linebacker, but no flag. The flag had already been thrown, though, in the backfield. Actually, the side judge made the call.
First and 5. Havlis is going to the outside. Remember now, if they hit him too far out of bounds, that could be a 15-yard penalty. He was a long way out that time, and I tell you what, it's a good thing they didn't start some kind of a problem over there. You never hit an opponent out of bounds on the other team's sideline.
You're right. The scoring drive, 8 plays, 36 yards, 3:32 off the clock, and the Doyle field goal. After looking at that a second time, very easily could have been a marker for personal foul. There goes Darren Lewis off the right side. Boy, a couple of moves, and that's really all it takes. Out to the 40-yard line before Mangum made the stop. Alabama's done a good job of containing Lewis, but you wonder if he carries the ball enough times, sooner or later, he'll pop one.
That play was a misdirection. He started to his left and he came back to the right. It looks like Alabama has taken a quick read to Lewis in one direction. Texas A&M should run more misdirection plays to Lewis. That one obviously worked well.
Rod Harris is the wide receiver at the top of your screen. Lewis so far 41 yards on the night and 11 carries. And there's a fumble. Havlis once again may be on top of it, but the Alabama contingent says no. Alabama got it. And just ask Tuscaloosa, they know. George Bethune on top of it for the Crimson Tide, the senior from Fort Walton Beach.
The fullback belly play. Sometimes you do not get all the way around to give the ball. That time, number 32, Wilson, did not get his inside elbow up. The ball hit his elbow, and that's why it dropped out as a fumble.
First down, 10, Alabama with the ball inside the 38-yard line of Texas A&M.
Now's the time to throw a play-action pass and try to get something deep.
Murray Hill. Well, they got deep on the ground.
I told you. That's the best time to run a sprint draw play.
Inside the 25 to the 23. Well, that's why you're here. Lafayette Turner and Gary Jones, the two safeties combined. The turnovers are even at 1 apiece.
Nice sprint draw play to the left side. Good blocker by number 34. Right there, Stewart. But what they did that time, they saw a little opening in the middle, and Smith called the automatic and gave the ball to Murray Hill.
Well, they've used a bevy of backs, the Crimson Tide, in this game. Up the middle it goes to Wayne Shaw, number 43. One of 6 backs used thus far. Basil Jackson and Lafayette Turner combined on the stop. Jackson out of Hammond, Louisiana, a senior. You see the time remaining. Just under 4 minutes here at College Station. Wembley comes out of the game now for Alabama. So does Shaw. Turner is now in the backfield with Murray Hill. Turner's the fullback. 2nd and 8. And there's a fumble, and Texas A&M unable to get on top of it. Joe Johnson made the stop. Kevin Turner fell on top of the football.
It was a blitz by the linebackers. Watch the penetration by Texas A&M is outstanding. And that time they hit Hill before he really had the ball, and number 24 just happened to be sitting there, and it ran right in his hands. Sometimes, Turner, you get luck like that, Tim. The ball just fell right in his hands.
It's been a good night for Bill Curry so far. 3rd down 11. Smith out of the shotgun. Lets it fly, incomplete. Intended for Russell, the tight end, who already has 1 reception out of Aniata, Alabama, the junior.
Number 81, Morris, is looking for the inside seam. He's got one-on-one coverage with number 46, Kevin Smith, right there, and the ball is just overthrown.
Doyle will now try again. See there from this distance, he's 50%. This one from 42 yards away. And Philip Doyle is perfect. 2 for 2 for Doyle, and the hurricane party rages on in Tuscaloosa. It's the Tide by...
We're shining brighter than ever before.
Winn-Dixie has a great price on select lean pork. Buy a fresh whole pork loin for just 99 cents a pound. WD brand boneless top sirloin steaks are U.S. choice and just $2.69 a pound. Harvest fresh U.S. #1 russet potatoes are 99 cents a 5-pound bag. And 3 loaves of country fresh white bread are only $1 at Winn-Dixie.
America's supermarket.
Mazda Motors of America, in conjunction with AmSouth Bank, offer for sale to the general public over $5 million in new Mazda cars and trucks. Mazda demands a sellout. 8.8% financing, or up to $3,000 in cash back. A free cellular concepts car phone, a 3-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. Mazda demands results. 8.8% financing, or up to $3,000 cash back. Make your deal now at your 2 Birmingham Mazda dealers, Roebuck Mazda and MedCenter Mazda.
Jeep Cherokee has available 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. The most powerful engine in its class. Full-time 4-wheel drive capability. And room for 5. Being superior in these areas makes Cherokee superior in these areas.
Save up to $1,600 on select 1989 Jeep Cherokees.
13-3 our score here in College Station, Texas at Kyle Field. Inspiration coming from some members of the 12th man group. Philip Doyle set an Alabama single-season field goal record with 18 after that last field goal, measuring 42 yards. He'll kick the ball away. Harris and McAfee are back deep for the Aggies. Harris at the top of your screen. Rod Harris from the end zone. Up to the 19, that's it. Markers down. At the point of the hit, the stop made by Lorenzo Ward, a reserve rover back for the Alabama defense. Havlis talking with Jackie Sherrill after that scoring drive that netted 12 yards on 4 plays, 1:47 off the clock, but it has been a game of field position, Coach, and Phil Curry wanted that.
And actually, Texas A&M defense has dodged a couple of bullets because the offense has been sporadic and has been turning the ball.
On the return, half the distance, 1st and 10.
And as I mentioned, field position, Jackie Sherrill says, yeah, and it's only getting worse. Back to the 10-yard line after the clipping violation against the Aggies.
Jackie Sherrill really misses Bucky Richardson as quarterback. Against Texas in the first half, Richardson played as well as any Texas A&M quarterback has in years. They jumped to a 28-0 lead or something like that.
They really are relying that much more on Lewis alone in this offense. You're right, Coach. There he goes, Darren again, right on cue. Breaking outside, that's 10, almost 15 yards before Charles Gardner and company. Keith McCants, the Will linebacker, making the stop. Heisman candidates, obviously Barry Sanders. Who could match those numbers? Who would have believed at the beginning of the year any back would have those kinds of numbers? He will eclipse, of course, Marcus Allen, you'd think, in Tokyo, Rodney Peete, Aikman, and Walsh. We'll be talking with Jimmy Johnson at halftime. I'm sure Steve Walsh will be a player he'd like to mention for the Heisman. Play action fake. Havlis in trouble now. Lets it go incomplete. He just dumped that one away. Curry wants in the grasp right now. But that's only in the NFL, Coach.
Intentional grounding is a loss of down also, which makes it an even more serious problem.
Yeah.
Curry is yelling that he should get intentional grounding and take the penalty. But remember, if there's a receiver in the area, it is not intentional grounding, but remember, it's also the referee's judgment. Now, let's see. Was he trying to throw the ball to the tight end?
Well, he's in the area, isn't he?
Depends if you're home or away.
Well, Brian Ross was definitely in that area. And as I mentioned, if we were in the NFL, if we were up the road with Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann right now, and that's Warren Moon, that's in the grasp, and it's over.
Notice it's a loss of down. That's a serious penalty. It's now second down.
Second down, 28 yards to go now for Texas A&M. Out of the I set. Lewis, what an outstanding talent. Beyond the 20 to the 22, not really much of a gap, but boy, does he have great peripheral vision. Hammond made the stop.
We did a game with Barry Sanders. I had Barry Sanders in the Oklahoma State game against Oklahoma. Darren Lewis looks a lot like him. In fact, if Darren Lewis had as much exposure as Barry Sanders has, I wouldn't be surprised if next year he doesn't give Sanders a run at the Heisman Trophy.
Already 76 yards, but remember, he had been throttled early on. A couple of big runs the last two series have really netted that yardage for him here in the first half. Pavlis to Harris. First down, Texas A&M to the 35. Mangum made the stop.
I think you'll get a roughing the passer, striking the quarterback in the face after the ball was thrown.
14-yard pickup here.
Keep your eye on Pavlis now, right now. If he gets hit after the ball is thrown, right there, see that? He got hit right in the face, and that's a 15-yard penalty after the completion. Good completion to Harris right here, number 17. Remember, anytime you hit the quarterback, especially hitting the quarterback around the helmet, number 55, Derek Thomas hit him. That's a 15-yard penalty after the play. And therefore, that's a tremendous play because you get the first down with the pass and 15 yards plus.
Really the first of what really have been a few mistakes made in this game by Alabama thus far. All is out to the 50-yard line. Remember, this drive got underway way back at the 10-yard line. The running backs are now Horton and Wilson for the Aggies. Lewis is checked out. There you see the penalties. Alabama now halfway to A&M's point. Pavlis out of the drop back mode, incomplete. Larry Horton, the running back, coming out of the backfield, the intended receiver. Mangum, the cornerback, picked him up to provide the coverage, and it will be second down, 10 yards to go. Coming up at halftime, as I mentioned a moment ago, Jimmy Johnson will talk to us. A lot on his mind with BYU coming up Saturday, and of course, he's been campaigning for the national title. Kerry Ross is in Tuscaloosa, and we'll hear from the great Aggie Band all at halftime of our game tonight. Second and 10 now, Texas A&M. Pavlis in trouble. Derek Thomas, among others, get to him. Back at the 43-yard line. Clock now down to 1:17 and counting. George Bethune also combined with Thomas on the stop for Alabama.
Bethune, number 59, 98 wide and 51 Cole and 55 Thomas are quicker than those large Texas A&M offensive linemen, and they're beating with outside rushes. That's why they've got the quarterback scrambling so much.
Bethune was voted the most improved defensive lineman last year out of Choctawhatchee High School in Fort Walton Beach. A lot of great talent in that state. Third down, 18. Pavlis now. Going long, incomplete. That was intended for Percy Waddle. Actually, Shane Garrett, the intended receiver, number 80 now for Texas A&M. They just tried to outrun Mangum here.
Yeah, but it was nice fundamental football. Did you notice the way that Mangum kept his body back and he was just drifting along? He's got good vision right now, and it just gets in the way of number 80. Garrett makes a good play.
Fourth down and a punt formation now for Sean Wilson. Murray Hill back deep. Wilson will go into the end zone again for the touchback. 26 seconds left to be played in the opening half, and it's 13-3, Alabama with the lead. Another great punt by Wilson, 58 yards that time around.
Texas A&M has 3 timeouts left, so every time that Alabama will run, every time Alabama will run the ball, they'll call a timeout, and then they'll try to block the punt just before the end of the half, if possible.
Well, Roper had one against Texas, you'll recall, in our Thanksgiving night game. And they needed all the points they could get in the first half because you know what David McWilliams' team did in half number 2. Texas A&M had to hang on for that 28-24 win against their arch rival.
They run a quarterback sneak. Now call timeout.
Smith just down to the knee and the clock continuing to run.
I don't understand that. Do you? I mean, they got a chance. Called 3 timeouts in a row and try to block a punt. They just wasted so much time. They wasted an opportunity. You got to be alert to try to win every single time you're in a ball game.
Well, the Hurricane Bowl is halfway done. Chamber of Commerce came up with the idea when Alabama didn't show on September 17th because of the hurricane, of course, that did approach Mexico rather than the Gulf Coast of Texas. And of course, hurricane parties throughout this area as well in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Kerry Ross is there and will be filing a report at halftime. And it's 13-3 now, Alabama with a lead over Texas A&M.
They even got a queen here in her court. Her court is named a Tropical Depressions.
Let's go down to Chris Fowler now. Chris?
Okay, Tim, I'm with Coach Bill Curry. Not much to complain about in the first half. Impressive.
Well, 2 outstanding defenses. I've been pleased that we've been able to move the ball. They committed a couple of really foolish penalties to keep their drives alive, and I don't think we could afford to continue that, but certainly some good things in the first half.
You were worried a little bit your team might come out a little flat after last week's loss, yet they haven't.
No, they aren't that kind of group. This is a special group. They've fought hard all year, and that isn't going to change.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Tim?
Bill Curry made an interesting statement last night when we spoke, Chris. He said, this team has had to deal with adversity simply because I'm here. That's a strong statement coming from a man on a mission. Right now, his mission is the lead you see. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Rayovac, batteries that turn people on. At halftime, the Aggies of Texas A&M are trailing the Crimson Tide of Alabama by a score of 13-3. We'll be picking up more of this Aggie band performance in just a few moments. I'm Tim Brando along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. Hurricane parties are abound not only in Texas but in Alabama. Kerry Ross has some distinguished alumni with her in Tuscaloosa.
Thank you very much, Tim. We're at the varsity in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at a hurricane party for the Hurricane Bowl. With me right now is a former defensive back from Alabama. He played from 73 to 76 under the Bear, Coach Bear Bryant. Fred Baker, thanks for joining us. When they speak of the Alabama family, you were born, bred, raised, and now you work here in Tuscaloosa, Fred.
Yes, the Alabama people are great people. It was both an honor and thrill for me to be associated with the program. Working with people like Bob Baumhauer, Ozzie Newsome, Richard Todd, it was just fantastic. It was a dream come true for me.
Now, you're in the business world here in Tuscaloosa. With all the controversy lately, what is going on as far as the word and the attitude among the business people? Are they frustrated? Are they angry? What's the attitude right now?
Well, once again, the people of Alabama are great people. I don't think that what's going on is going to tarnish this program at all. The people are strong. We're going to prevail. We're going to come out and be just fine after this.
So you don't think it's going to tarnish? You think people are going to come out stronger?
People are going to be positive. This is going to be a good program. The program has great tradition, and it's going to continue to be successful.
How has it changed since you were here?
Well, it's changed quite a bit. The ball players are a little bit bigger. They're faster. They've got better facilities, but it's still Alabama, great tradition, and we're going to be winners.
Okay, thank you for joining us very much, Fred. Fred Baker, former defensive back from Alabama. Tim, as they say, a good cause here tonight. The proceeds go to the General Scholarship Fund at Alabama. $500 plus has been raised through this hurricane party at the varsity. Back to you.
Yeah, I'd say it's been well worth the effort, the funds being raised there in Tuscaloosa. Right now, though, there's quite a celebration going on here at Kyle Field. And the reason, the Aggie Band is performing for the fans at College Station. race on with the Aggie band as well as the Aggies themselves. Right now, they are trailing Texas A&M, Alabama by a score of 13-3. Jimmy Johnson joins us in a moment.
Welcome back to the Hurricane Bowl. I'm Carrie Ross here at the varsity in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm with some of the so-called victims from Hurricane Gilbert. Brennan Lake, you went down to College Station last time.
Yeah, and my parents gave me free tickets because it was my birthday. Got down there, found out they weren't going to play, but we went out and partied anyway.
And why aren't you down there right now?
My parents didn't give me free tickets.
Okay, thanks, Brennan. With me are Dan Soto and Clarence Stringer, who still have their tickets from the September 17th date. What happened to you guys down there?
We were ambushed by A&M fans. It's about 20-1 odds. We just had to defend ourselves, and the SEC is the best conference in the world, and Bama #1.
And Clarence, how come you guys aren't down there right now?
Well, we've got finals coming up, and, you know, academics take first here at Alabama. So, you know, roll Tide, baby.
Okay, well, thank you guys very much. I wanted to tell you that we took a straw poll here at the varsity night of our some 500 students to find out what they felt about head coach Bill Curry and his controversy, and it was an overwhelming majority. 75% want him to stay at Alabama. We'll be back with the Hurricane Bowl in just a moment, so stay with us. Alabama leads 13-3.
Tonight's halftime report from College Station, Texas, and the Hurricane Bowl has been brought to you by Railback, batteries that turn people on. Tim Brando, along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. Carrie Ross is in Tuscaloosa at the Varsity Club, where all is going quite well, thank you, because the Crimson Tide of Alabama have a 13-3 lead over Texas A&M. And in a battle of defenses, it really has been Alabama's that's been the more consistent. Philip Doyle, of course, has 6 of the 13 points that have been put on the board by the Crimson Tide, hitting field goals of 39 and 42 yards. Been a few mistakes in the game, but they've really balanced out. Texas A&M has been unable really to get any passing game going, and if you were to point to any real key in this game, it's been the balanced attack of Alabama versus just Darren Lewis for Texas A&M.
Move the ball. A&M's got to throw the ball a little bit more, especially on first down, because Alabama is crowding the line of scrimmage with all of those linebackers.
Rod Harris and McAfee are deep. Harris, 2 yards deep, will down it, and Texas A&M will start from their own 20-yard line. Statistically, you'll notice it. Passing yardage is there. Rushing yardage is there for Alabama. Texas A&M relying totally on the ground, and, of course, the reason Darren Lewis and Bucky Richardson out of the game.
Richardson not being in the ball game has hampered the A&M attack, not only on the passing game, but running the option. To me, it looks like A&M's got to fake the ball to Lewis on 1st and 10 and throw it to someone else down the field, then give it to Lewis as they spread the Alabama defense wide.
Alabama with the edge in plays and ball control football, and that's been Bill Curry's plan all along. Havlis throws, and it's caught at the 31-yard line. Gary Oliver, the flanker, comes up with the reception. The possession chart in this game will show you for Texas A&M an 8-play drive that led to a field goal. Then they were forced to punt. Then again, 3 downs and out the next time around. They fumbled the ball, turned it over. That helped lead to a field goal for Alabama. And again, they just haven't been able to get balanced, and really field position has been part of the problem. Darren Lewis out to the 41, perhaps a half-yard shy of the first down. Spencer Hammond made the stop. Hammond, number 44, hit Stacy Danley. As you look at Lewis in the first quarter, 14 yards rushing, and then in the second quarter, he really cranked it up. But back to 44, Hammond for Alabama. He hit Stacy Danley and knocked him out cold in the game played this past Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, against Auburn. That was a hit that Danley will not soon forget. Second down and less than a yard. And up the middle, Robert Wilson, the fullback, for the first down. Keith McCants, along with Tommy Cole, made the stop of Robert Wilson, newcomer of the year in the Southwest Conference. McCants comes off the field, a sophomore out of Mobile, Alabama, and Murphy High School. There's the newcomer of the year, one of 5 selections by AP as all Southwest Conference team members on the Texas A&M team. First down, 10. The option, Pavlis runs it as well as Bucky this time. Into Alabama territory at the 43. Willie Wyatt knocked him down.
Option play to your right. Good drive down the right side. He fakes the ball to the fullback. He comes into the inside. Number 32, Wilson, gets a good lead block downfield, and Pavlis goes forward. Notice the play selection. They faked the ball to Lewis and threw the ball. Ran the ball to Lewis and then run an option. That's terrific game plan, halftime strategy by Jackie Sherrill.
Ball at the 44 now. Darren Lewis gets it, trying to cut outside, but Bethune wouldn't let him go. The senior from Fort Walton made the stop. What we're seeing here by Pavlis remaining in the game, and we've already pointed out that Richardson, that's a big loss for Texas A&M, but we haven't seen Osgood, who's considered the better passer. I think what A&M is sending is a message to Alabama that we're keeping the ball on the ground.
Also, they're saying that Osgood did not play very well last week, and they're not going to give him another chance to play unless Pavlis really doesn't do the job.
Second down, 13, Texas A&M. Option again, not much room this time. Bethune again in on the stop. Hammond and Shepard and the rest of the lateral pursuit there. Derek Thomas also in on the pile.
You notice they ran 2 option plays, and both times Alabama has forced Pavlis to carry the football. That's their theory. Let the quarterback come down the line of scrimmage, let him come in, and then punish him. In the first half, they let him pitch the ball a couple times to Lewis, and he made good runs. They changed that defense at halftime.
Horton and Wilson are now the setbacks behind Pavlis. There you see they're 2 for 6 in long yardage situations, and they face another one here. Pavlis looking for Harris, short of the first down at the 37-yard line. Kermit Kendrick, all SEC performer at cornerback, was over there to make the stop. He had an interception on Friday in the game against Reggie Slack and the Auburn Tigers.
Nice throw. Watch him. He opens up his shoulders and throws the ball. Pavlis does. Number 12 hits Harris right there, and he goes out of bounds. They're 2 yards short. Now, they got to remember one thing. They're trying to keep the long pass from happening, so make A&M drive the ball. But now A&M's got to go for it. It's 4th and 2. You're not going to a bowl game. Let's go for it. This is the Hurricane Bowl. Go get it. What do you got to lose?
Yep, Lewis and Wilson are now in the game with the setbacks, and they're going to call a timeout and think about it. Lance Pavlis will come to the sidelines, talk with Joe Avezzano and Jackie Sherrill. The Aggies are trailing by 10, and a pivotal play to the outcome of this game could be forthcoming.
The Transamerica Pyramid. You'll find it wherever there's a need for financial services. Whether it's property and casualty insurance in Dallas, life insurance in New York, consumer loans in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, or commercial financing in Chicago. You see, our home may be in San Francisco, but our heart is everywhere. Transamerica, the power of the pyramid, is working for you.
In communities across America, there's a working spirit. People working together with a feeling of pride. Where that feeling exists, there's Dickies Work Clothes. America, it still works. Dickies, the brand it works in. Dickies.
Made with Cottrell polyester by Fiber Industries.
ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Pittsburgh Steelers and Houston Oilers go head-to-head. Pittsburgh's forged steel curtain ignites the flame on one of the NFL's great rivalries. The Oilers' explosive defense adds fuel to the already raging fire. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Houston Oilers go head-to-head on NFL Sunday Night Football at 8 Eastern live on ESPN.
Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann are there just a few miles from yours truly, Tim Brando, and by my side, Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. 11:50 to play third quarter. Alabama with a 10-point lead in the Hurricane Bowl. Obviously, the Alabama contingent having a little fun with the allegations made in the Dallas Morning News from George Smith. Lewis is out of the game. Watch for a pass here. Wilson and Horton are the setbacks. Pavlis rolling, wants Harris. Out of bounds at the 12. Yards and a nice soft touch.
Can you imagine that? They went to the 5th receiver. He had no idea. This is what you call luck. He rolled to his right. He tried to throw the ball to number 39, Horton, who was covered, so he just threw it away, and he hit number 17, Harris. Can you believe this?
Look at the reaction from the two coaches. Jackie says, oh, yeah, no problem. Now Darren Lewis back in the game. That's a good coaching move now. Lewis out of the game on 4th and 2. You throw the pass and let him take it in the rest of the way. Lee Osment made the stop for Alabama.
One good thing about Alabama, about Texas A&M now, is they're using good balance. You're calling a lot of names. You're calling Lewis. You're calling Horton. You're calling Harris. You're calling Pavlis. They're spreading the ball around, and that makes it more difficult for Alabama to zero in on the tailback position.
Oliver, the flanker. Lewis dots the I. Darren Lewis just shy of the end zone. Keith McCants saved the touchdown. It will be, though, first down goal, Aggies.
The tailbacks from Texas A&M have scored 10 touchdowns when they get near the goal line. But one of the things A&M did in the films, they'll bring in 3 tight ends, put them in a T formation, and run over the right guard, number 67, Fontenot. Watch him.
Touchdown, Robert Wilson. It takes guts to take Lewis out of the game on 4th and 2, and it really paid dividends here. Touchdown run just a yard away.
67, Jerry Fontenot, 6'4", 270 senior from Lafayette, Louisiana. They love to run over him, and that's exactly what they did last week, and they did it again for a touchdown.
Slater notches another point on the slate, and Texas A&M trails by a field goal.
The amazing Isuzu Trooper. It has a powerful fuel-injected engine, 4-wheel drive, power steering, and 4-wheel disc brakes, all standard. Yet it's over $1,000 less than Jeep Cherokee, Bronco 2, and S10 Blazer. And if you buy a Trooper now, we'll throw in this attractive car cover.
Act now and get a $750 factory rebate available on all Troopers 2 or 4-door.
Now the final chapter, students, in Bosworth's book of etiquette, personal hygiene. I suggest the maximum protection of Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized.
There's only one place you'll find a sale this big for appliances and electronics, where every microwave, every VCR, TV, and more is 5 to 30% off. Now, only at Sears.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Thinking ahead. It's something you started doing the day you learned how to wish and plan and take measures to help your wishes come true, which is just what Allstate Universal Life helps you to do. To plan while protecting your family and save as your family grows at rates that could help make a lot of your wishes a reality. Allstate Universal Life Insurance. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. 10:45 to play.
One more time, we're going to get him.
There's the
What's up, House? What's up, Big Mama?
running back Robert Wilson that got in the end zone to make it a 13-10 game. Remember that 4th down play and the call by Texas A&M staff, Joe Avizano, the offensive coordinator.
The two most important parts of the ball game are the first 6 minutes of the game to establish momentum, and the second time is the first 6 minutes of the second half.
Talbot to kick off. Squibs this one. Comes to one of the up-backs for Alabama. And that's number 33, John Cassimus, a reserve tailback beyond the 30 to the 33. Brian Edwards, who really sacrifices his body for that 12th man team, comes down to make the stop. There he is. The scoring drive, very similar to Alabama's to open the game. 11 plays, ball control, 80-yard drive. The key play, a 4th and 2 pass to Rod Harris.
And good mixture between run and pass.
From the 32, Alabama out of the eye. Murray Hill behind Turner. Roper and others collecting. Adam Bobb, the inside backer, and John Roper make the stop. Boy, he talks a good game and plays 1-2. Watch him come all the way from the far side.
He comes down the line of scrimmage. He gets his hill from the backside. But also, if I'm upstairs, that's a perfect time later on to run a reverse on Roper.
2nd and 9 after a gain of 1. They fake the reverse handoff. Smith is sacked by Roper again. Well, Jackie's got the groups charged up, and it doesn't hurt to have that linebacker, John Roper. There's Joe Avazano, the man that decided to take Lewis out of the game on 4th down. They would have severely been questioned had not they converted on that 4th down.
Except number 39 Horton. Except number 39 Horton is a much better pass receiver than Darren Lewis. That's why they took him out of the game.
Roper's got him charged. David Smith knows what faces him on 3rd down and 13. Incomplete, intended for Cross. Running a crossing pattern, Alex Morris is over there to provide coverage for the Aggies, and it's 4th down and a punt formation for Alabama. Well, you can feel the tempo of this game really swing early in the 3rd quarter here. Moore to punt it away. His last one, 53 yards. Rod Harris back deep. Got some pressure. Harris at his 20. Down at the 22. Simply no room there. Good coverage. Todd Richardson was down to make the stop. A 51-yard punt for Moore. 13-10, Alabama.
Hi, I'm Joanne Isuzu, Joe's twin sister, and I love these Isuzu Trooper 2s. They're roomy enough for all your wild Indians. Perfect for grocery shopping. And with their optional automatic transmission and more powerful engine, you can drive anywhere. The Isuzu Trooper 2, rugged yet so chic.
Act now and get a $750 factory cash rebate on any Trooper.
Buzzard's Gulch was drier than the red-hot desert ground. Well, an hombre named Mackenzie came riding into town. His saddlebags were loaded with the best crew ever found. And he ambled up to the bar and bought the house around.
To beat the desert heat, Spuds moseys on up to Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
Much obliged for the Bud Light, cowboy. Go, Spuds, go.
You give your all to all you do. Don't settle for less from your shampoo. Wash and go Bird Plus.
To get great-looking hair, you don't need separate shampoo and conditioner. Get it together. In just one step, get your hair clean, more manageable.
Get one that does the work of two.
For control you can't get from shampoo alone.
Wash and go.
Shampoo plus conditioner in one.
Bird Plus.
Interesting developments while we were away. That's number 10, Chris Osgood, the junior out of Moss Point, Mississippi, who's in at quarterback now, considered the better passer of the 2 quarterbacks available to Jackie Sherrill. Tim Brando along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler here in College Station, Texas. There you see the numbers on Osgood.
The reason he's in, though, Tim, is because Pavlis must have hurt his right hand. They're all down around the 45-yard line. Looks like 700 guys all looking at their quarterback and looking at his right hand. But here he comes back into the ball game again. He must be okay.
Well, they were checking him down there. Well, Osgood comes in, really never had a chance to warm up. And with that in mind, you know if Pavlis can go and he says, I'm okay, the coaches would love to let him get back in the game.
The rule says that you have to play one play, but not between quarters. So they could put Pavlis in there if they wanted to, but they got to be careful now is the center quarterback exchange. That always scared me. With a new quarterback in the center in the ball game.
Out of the I set, Lewis and Wilson behind Osgood. Darren Lewis out to the 38-yard line. Well, a job well done by Osgood. Not a bad idea. Just simply hand off to this prolific running back.
Lewis looks like an outstanding player. He gets the ball right there. They block on number 56, knock him to the outside. And what I like about Lewis is that his movement is so great. Gilbert, the linebacker, got suckered to the outside, and number 25, Lewis, broke back. Good runner.
First down, 10. And Pavlis back in. And there goes Lewis. Another first down. We're told now that Pavlis is playing with a jammed finger, but apparently well enough to get back in the game and hand off to Lewis as we check scores from the NBA. And, of course, we'll update all of the action.
Notice the big line splits. Notice the big line splits. The tackle is splitting out wide and isolated number 56, Gilbert, and they're running right smack at Gilbert, number 56.
Sports Center will have all of the highlights from around the sports world in the NBA and the NHL immediately following tonight's game. 8:28 and counting in the third quarter, and Wilson, fresh off a touchdown run of a yard, picks up another 1 or 2 yards. Keith McCants made the stop for Alabama. Chris Fowler standing by with more news on Pavlis. Well, we're experiencing some difficulties with Chris Fowler's microphone. We hope to iron them out and get the real word on Lance Pavlis momentarily. Second down 8. Lewis down to the 45-yard line. McCants again. A sophomore, was a Proposition 48 casualty a year ago, losing a year of his eligibility and coming in as a sophomore this season. Darren Lewis's numbers just keep gathering. This drive began. He was 18 carries for 109 yards, but hang on. 10th straight 100-plus yard rushing game this season. That's an A&M record. He'll be moving in on John David Crow's legacy in the next 2 seasons. There goes Pavlis shy of the first down. Nice recovery, and to give you an idea of just how outstanding the speed of this Alabama defense is, Shepard coming across to make the stop. Chris?
Okay, Tim, the problem with Lance Pavlis' hand is not severe. It's just a problem with the tendon. Trainers say he felt some pain, so they brought him out to look at it, but it wasn't severe. Sent him right back in there.
Well, they're short of the first down at the 42. Thank you, Chris. And that's the key, because you can't go too deep, because Osgood is a drop-back passer, not an option runner.
That was an interesting series of calls. They ran every single play away from Derek Thomas, number 55. Automatic away from him every play, Tim.
Wilson to punt the ball away. Hill back deep, and once again he'll hope for a favorable bounce, and he won't get it this time. A&M will down it inside the 10-yard line, it appears. No flags, and Alabama will be on their patio when we come back. And folks, that's the Hurricane Bowl trophy. We've got one more bowl this season, don't we?
Time to close out all 88 models, so we're chopping thousands of dollars off the sticker price on Ford Escorts, Taurus, Mustangs, Rangers, Bronco 2, and you'll still get a whopping Ford rebate with Bill Russell's closeout deal. Escort, $500, Taurus, $500, Mustang, $400, Ranger, $500, Bronco 2, $600. That's after your closeout discount. Mr. Big Bottom says this is it on 88s, now at Bill Russell Ford.
If you're worth $25 an hour and you spend 2 hours in the car, that's $50 a day. $250 a week, or $13,000 a year. It's just a matter of time. The most efficient of us waste time each day. That's not so surprising. What is surprising is where we waste it.
Isn't it time you called Cellular One?
Ever tried watching every NFL game? Miss anything? Well, Sunday, see all the key plays from every game on ESPN's NFL Primetime. Week after week, NFL Primetime is football's fastest hour. With Chris Berman, Pete Axthelm, and Tom Jackson. See it all in one place. NFL Primetime. Sunday nights, just before NFL Sunday Night Football on ESPN.
13-10, Alabama with a lead over Texas A&M. 6:26 to play in the third quarter. Tim Brando along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler. Interesting substitution being made now by Texas A&M defensively. Albert Jones, who's a offensive lineman, checked into the game at the nose guard spot, facing Dave Smith. With the ball at the 9-yard line. 1st and 10, Alabama. Castile checking for the snap count. That's the reason why he's out to the 11-yard line before Adam Bobb had come through with the tackle for Texas A&M. So Albert Jones, number 95 for the Aggies, is in the game, the final game of the year, and you use everyone you can when it's the last game of the year. And there you see total plays and at Roper. Remember that. Very rarely is an offense successful when running towards John Roper. 2nd and 7. Not much room up front. Wayne Shaw, the 6', 204-pounder, one of 6 backs being used tonight, tackled by Terry Price along with Albert Jones. So the offensive lineman that's playing out of position makes his first defensive stop of the season. Don't forget, a big Saturday of college football. We're closing with a flurry. Pitch. And Syracuse, and that will be followed in the prime time with BYU Miami. 3rd down 4. A checkoff now by Smith. You can see the crowd a factor for these running backs just to hear the snap count. Hill, nothing doing. The Aggie defense has really come through the last 2 series. Batiste and Jones again, number 95.
But number 48, 6', 230-pound Dana Batiste from Spring, Texas. When he filled that linebacker from the linebacker hole, he actually hit the fullback a yard behind the line of scrimmage. That's the way a linebacker is supposed to fill that ISO play.
We've got an official's timeout now, and they're conferring with the Alabama offense. Apparently, at any rate, the Alabama offense is in the
ball.
game.
Face mask on the defense. It'll be a 1st down.
Wow.
And it's a 15-yard penalty. That means obviously it was done on purpose. Now that is a very, very tough call against A&M.
And a late call because the punt teams were out there. The special teams were ready. Jackie Sherrill is really upset. Who could blame him? 1st down at the 31-yard line. Setback split now. Hill will dot the I. Behind Stewart. Murray Hill gets it. He's dragged down by Terry Price, the junior from Plano, Texas.
That was a misdirection play. And anytime you misdirection against a team like A&M, and especially like a guy like Terry Price from Plano, Texas, what happens is they get too much penetration. Notice how much penetration. Nobody blocks the backside guy, and Price, number 88, comes. Inside, makes a tackle. Against penetrating teams, you can forget misdirection.
There he is, the junior defensive end. Has a number of tackles tonight. 2nd and 11, Alabama. Draw play. Works for 5 yards or more. Hill carrying, Lafayette Turner and John Roper collecting. Boy, Roper's dominance has been incredible throughout his career. And he comes from a family of star athletes. His brother Darnell plays basketball at Houston. His sister Donna plays basketball here in College Station.
She was a preseason All-American guard for the Aggies.
3rd down, 5 yards to go for the Tide. They fake the pitch to Castile. Smith to the tight end, and it could be a first down. Lafayette Turner made the stop of Howard Cross. That little crossing pattern underneath the linebackers, it's been there all night long after the play fake, hasn't it?
They faked the toss play to get the linebackers to move. Now, you watch number 85 Cross. As he comes across, he tries to find the first down mark. He makes a good catch, gets a good knock backward. He's knocked backwards.
Knocked backward, yes.
Knocked backwards. But the good thing about this play, you got to understand this. Watch the play by the safety man who drives him. He might have knocked him backwards and not given him a first down. Now,
didn't I have you in phonetics class one year?
That's the first time tonight. That's not
Had to have some fun with you, Coach. It's been a while. We haven't had you in the studio for Bino to give you grief. Speaking of the studio, it all begins in the NFL on Sunday with NFL Game Day and then NFL Prime Time before that Oilers-Steelers matchup at the Astrodome. First down, 10 Alabama. Out of an I formation, Smith at his 41. Hill. Not much room. Leon Cole, the senior from East Orange, New Jersey, made the stop. Many of these players, particularly those from the East, and Cole is one of them, been picked up through the JUCO route. Many times the Sacramento Junior College area has come through for Jackie Sherrill.
And Cole's from Dixie Junior College in Salt Lake City, Utah. From East Orange, New Jersey. That's a hard way, kind of a funny way to get to Texas, isn't it?
You bet. Second and 10. There's the delay to Hill. Down at the 43. Baptiste did the honors again, the senior from Spring, Texas. And with 2:25 to play, Alabama will face a third down and long situation coming up. Lamont Russell, the tight end, coming in for Coach Curry. Remember, he's the better receiver of the tight ends. Payne in the game. They're 2 for 7 in this situation so far tonight. 3rd and 9. Straight drop. They're throwing for Battle, and Smith simply didn't get it there. He was open. Baptiste came in to provide pressure, though, for Smith.
You're
that
right.
Hurried the pass.
That's right. The reason why he didn't get that ball out is number 48, Baptiste, rushes from the inside. Now watch him. Right here to the right-hand side of your picture, you'll see 48 right there across. Now he's lucky he didn't get the penalty for coming across the face mask. Remember, that's a very important play.
In a game of field position, though, the face mask call did come in handy as Moore, once again, who's been averaging 52 yards with his 2 punts tonight, gets it down to Harris. And he's cracked down at the 10-yard line. Stacy Harrison got down there to make the stop. A big reminder that we've got serious hoops coming your way tonight. Loyola Marymount, they're like watching the Keystone Cops in college basketball. They'll take on Cal Santa Barbara. Loyola Marymount, Paul Westhead's team, scored 164 points the other night in a game played in Los Angeles. They'll take on Cal Santa Barbara midnight Eastern time, one of our 209 college basketball games that we have coming right at you from now until the March in March. Texas A&M with the ball outside the 10-yard line with 1:40 to play. Wilson and Lewis are the setbacks. Lewis gets it. Isn't that a surprise? Off the right side for 4. McCants made the stop, the linebacker. Just a sophomore. It will be 2nd down and 7. They call it a gain of 3 on that run by Lewis.
McCants is 6'4", 246 from Mobile, Alabama. He's got excellent movement and speed, but he's got great size. He was probably the most highly recruited athlete in Alabama when he came out of high school last year.
High formation now behind Pavlis. Playing with a jammed finger, as Chris Fowler mentioned moments ago. Lewis is jammed by McCants again. And again, it will be 3rd down and long for the Aggies deep in their own territory with under 1 minute to play in the 3rd quarter.
Wasn't that a beautiful shot? McCants got in good football position. He struck the ball carrier and knocked him backwards. That's exactly the way a linebacker is supposed to do it.
You're pretty animated up here. Twyble has to dodge you, I guess, on Saturdays. Horton is in the game. Folks, when Coach Corso gets in a position for replay, it's like a third base coach up here. 3rd down, 7. Pavlis straight back. Harris, first down at the 34. For an option quarterback, that's a pretty good drop back and a pretty good needle threading.
Rod Harris is a tremendous football player. He's from Dallas, Texas, and Carter High School. Watch, they'll put a blitz on him. He'll fake it to the inside, and then he runs a corner route, which is the soft spot 22 yards down. He beats number 42, Osmond, to the area. Pavlis threw it perfect. Nice throw, terrific route by Harris that time.
Third all-time leading receiver at Texas A&M, Rod Harris. Pavlis again back, dodging McCants, looking for help, and it's not there. Ridden out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Derek Rushton, backup defensive end, pretty good speed to take Pavlis out of bounds.
One thing about the Texas A&M play calling now that I like, you notice they're mixing them up. Again, that was a play-action pass on first down. It didn't work, but at least it keeps that Alabama team on defense off balance.
Just a reminder, rumors speculated here that Jackie Sherrill could be coaching his last game in College Station. Of course, he's yet to address those rumors in the wake of the George Smith incident with the Dallas Morning News. Pavlis back on 2nd and 14, trying to get away from Thomas. Unloads it late, and it was caught at the 32-yard line by Horton. Keith McCants was again there to make the stop for Alabama. Pavlis just needed help late and finally did get. He, along with Thomas, we talk about Thomas so much, the Butkus Award winner, but you look at the rest of that linebacking core, Shepard, Hammond, McCants, pretty active group.
And Alabama's got 14 seniors, 7 juniors, and 1 sophomore start. This is a very experienced Alabama team.
Third down, 12. Pavlis with plenty of time. Incomplete, a bit overthrown. It'd be difficult to determine whether the pass was intended for Oliver or Harris. Both were running crossing patterns, and the pass went in between the two. Sean Wilson will be forced to punt for Texas A&M on what will be the final play of the third quarter. There's Wilson. He and Moore have had a pretty good night punting the football for their respective teams. And Murray Hill is back deep. 45-yard average for Sean Wilson, the A&M kicker. Texas A&M with the lead, 13-10. The rush was on. And Hill will let this one roll dead at the 27-yard line. And we have 15 minutes remaining and an injured player. And we'll check on the player when we return at the end of 3. Alabama by 3.
Now, when's that Tour de France thing?
Introducing Stanley cordless tools with power that won't quit. Because unlike many other cordless tools, the new Stanley cordless drill and cordless screwdriver are designed with removable, rechargeable battery packs. So the only time they stop working is when you do.
Todd Richardson was the injured Tide player. There you see the numbers in the fourth quarter. It's been all crimson so far this year. Smith rolling. Marco Battle out of bounds at the 38-yard line for Alabama. Mickey Washington knocking him out of bounds. Here's Richardson now, number 23 coming through. They had the block on here.
And it looked like he almost did it right here, but he just doesn't get it. But the two men collide, and that's where Richardson got hurt, but he's not serious. Now, as we watch the punter go down, he gets hit on the blind side right here by number 55. Hey, he's going to come back and attack him, but he notices his number and says, forget it.
No, you don't mess with the Butkus Award winner, not if you're a punter. Murray Hill up to the 40-yard line on first down. Adam Bobb, the linebacker, made the stop.
Tim, getting back to that statistic of 97 points by Alabama against 47 by opponents, that means two things. One, they're in great condition, and two, they got good character on their football team. They never give up.
Second down and 8 yards to go. Lamond Russell, the receiving tight end, comes into the game. Richardson, who was earlier injured, obviously okay. You saw him running off the field to get out of there, and Smith is in the shotgun on 2nd and 8. Smith, Payne to midfield, and a first down, Alabama. Mickey Washington got him out of bounds. And Smith has been cool tonight with that left arm.
Good protection that time. Payne drove Washington deep like he was going to run an out cut, and all of a sudden breaks it off for a first down. Remember, they also tried to beat Washington deep early in the game. And once you do that, you get a back like Washington looking for the deep pass. You can throw the ball in front of him.
Payne, the leading receiver. Not much of a factor, though, until this season. And there's the pitch to Hill. A high pitch, and that caused him some trouble, as did Albert Jones, the converted offensive lineman turned middle guard. He, along with John Roper, made the tackle.
They had 7 men from Texas A&M around that receiver. Around that ball carrier. 7. That means they got great pursuit. If Alabama has a reverse play, they should use it anytime right now. If nothing else, just to stop that great pursuit from Alabama. Texas A&M.
Stewart's in the backfield now, along with Turner, and Smith in the shotgun on 2nd and 11. Going long for Pierre Good. He dropped it. Mickey Washington was clearly beaten. And Gary Jones, the free safety. And the referee was involved with the free safety here.
But remember, the referee is part of the field, and that's perfectly legal. If he gets run into, that's no problem right there. The whole play, though, was that they went on number 1, Washington, and tried to beat him deep. Remember, that's the guy that just threw the ball in front of him, and now they try to throw the ball over his head.
Jones got tangled up with the referee, and Washington was beaten. But Pierre Good dropped the ball. 3rd down, 11. Low snap. Smith handles it. Has room to run. First down, Alabama, and a marker down. Deion Snow made the stop, the reserve cornerback in the game for Washington. You're wondering why he's in the game. Mickey was the man that was beaten by Pierre Good, and I'm sure he's getting a talking to and maybe a blow on the sideline.
As I mentioned before, Mickey Washington was also the man who got beat at the Texas game that got Texas back in that game.
By the way, for those of you that care, it was Billy Tease, the back judge, who's an SEC official in this split crew, that got in the way. I mention that only because it's true.
And I mentioned also the fact that the official is part of the field.
Yes.
So even if the man would have ran into him and caught a touchdown pass, it would have still been a touchdown pass.
Jackie Sherrill unhappy with the holding call defensively against his Aggies. And it's another first down for Alabama with the ball at the 28-yard line.
It's a bad snap, but great one-handed snag there by Smith. And notice he's left-handed, and he went down with his left hand right there. He's really a great competitor, and he's a tremendous competitor and a great football player, Smith.
First down at the 28-yard line. Out of an I formation, Alabama. With delay, Murray Hill inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. Terry Price, the defensive end, made the stop. Well, you mentioned David Smith. He's got that bad knee. It's his right knee. He had arthroscopy done on his knee, and the next day he was lifting weights. Now, you don't recommend that. Bill Curry wouldn't, neither would David Smith. But the doctor said, if you can go, rehab it now. Smith did, and obviously it's paying some dividends.
You can see why he's named the offensive captain.
2nd and 5. Murray Hill cuts back against the grain inside the 20 to the 18. Jones and Turner, the two safeties, combine on the stop. Well, we've seen this bevy of backs used by Bill Curry and his offensive coordinator, Homer Smith, tonight. And the storyline College Station at this point, Darren Lewis with 127 yards, the Tide 95. The third quarter offense has been all A&M, and Derek Thomas has loaded up with 3 sacks tonight, adding to his career record total. We're in College Station, Texas, with just over 12 minutes to play, and an apparent third down and short yardage situation facing Alabama. I'm Tim Brando along with Lee Corso and Chris Fowler down on the sidelines. We're happy you joined us for the Hurricane Bowl, a game originally scheduled on September 17th, played on December 1. Sherrill and Curry know how important this drive is to both teams.
It's short yardage with less than 6 inches. They ought to run a quarterback sneak so they don't have any chance of loss of yardage.
They go up the middle to the big fullback, Robert Stewart, the 5th-year senior that graduated in May. I beg your pardon, the sophomore Stewart. Castile is the 5th-year senior, the other tailback in the Alabama offense.
Or the second thing they do is to give it to a former linebacker who's 253 pounds and just falls over for a first down.
NHL scores, Calgary with a lead over the Rangers. Toronto and Los Angeles, the great Gretzky scoreless. And all the highlights coming up immediately following our game tonight. First down 10 and premature movement up front. And the officials will confer over this.
Let me tell you what happens there. The center is instructed when the quarterback changes the cadence, when the other team comes across the line of scrimmage, snap the ball.
Offside, defense, first down.
See what I mean? As soon as he changes snap count and the Texas A&M guys come over, as you watch the Texas A&M people will come across the line of scrimmage, nobody on the Alabama team will move except the center will snap the ball. That makes it an offside penalty against Texas A&M.
Out of an I formation, 1st and 5. Stewart down to the 10-yard line. Adam Bobb made the stop. Penalties really beginning to mount up on Texas A&M, coach. 9 of them for a total of 78 yards. And even more importantly, they've come at the wrong times.
They set a record this year for the most penalties. And that really puts you in a position where it's very difficult to win games when you're not only turning the ball over, as they have, but also having penalties.
Gilbert is gone, but the Tide is back. At the 10-yard line, 11th play of the drive. Marco Battle, the wide receiver. Castile, he's the 5th-year senior that graduated in May, down to the 8-yard line. Batiste again making the stop. Don't forget, Sports Center will be following us tonight. And then we'll have college basketball to follow that with a look at Paul Westhead's team at Loyola Marymount. Bob Lee and Chris Berman will be by with Sports Center immediately following our game. 3rd down 1, Alabama inside the Aggie 10. Play fake, Smith to throw. Touchdown, Kevin Turner. You said earlier, Lee, they have had Texas A&M on their heels in many, many cases tonight. Another clear-cut example with this call on 3rd and 1.
Another great call by Homer Smith, but the beautiful part about this also was the substitution. They took number 34 Stewart, the 253-pound fullback, out, slipped Turner, who's 208-pound fullback, slipped him in the flat, hit him for a touchdown. Not only a great call, but a great substitution.
Doyle for the extra point. And it's good. He has been perfect tonight. 2 field goals and the extra points. Alabama has a 10-point lead over the Aggies. A very important night for Dave Smith and the Alabama coaching staff.
Introducing the Dodge Daytona Law of Supply and Demand. We supply the fuel-injected power. A 5-speed sport gearbox. A driver's airbag restraint and quick ratio power steering. And here's the best reason for you to demand one. The 1989 Daytona. The new spirit of value and performance.
Now get up to $500 cash back on Daytonas in stock.
Oh, yes. Contemptible. I'm speaking of offending in the personal grooming arena.
When seeking maximum protection and a fresh scent, one should grab Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette, antiperspirant and deodorant. Anything less would be uncivilized.
It will be the most ambitious project in NASA history. It will launch colonies to Mars and man into the 21st century. Yet the NASA space station will not be directed from Houston or Cape Canaveral, but instead from Reston, Virginia. Call us and we'll tell you why. But beware of the time difference. For although it's 1988 where you are, in Virginia, it's 2001.
After 6 hours of school, I had enough for the day. I hit the radio dial.
With the designed-in sound of a Delco Electronics music system. Now the best seat in the house is in your GM car or truck. Delco Electronics, it's who we are.
Tonight's game in College Station is being brought to you by Dodge Cars and Trucks. On the street or off the road, it's the new spirit of Dodge. By Virginia, we're doing some of America's most exciting work. And by the insurance and financial services companies of the Kemper Group. Ask for our products by name. Kemper. Tim Brando, Lee Corso, Chris Fowler in College Station. Kerry Ross back in Tuscaloosa. We're at the Hurricane Bowl. Rod Harris is back deep. The Aggies are down by 10. Doyle boots this one. And Harris will go to one knee. And the scoring drive for Alabama, textbook. Cliche, yes. True, yes. 12 plays, 73 yards. Turner on the 8-yard pass from Smith. We've seen 3 great drives in this game in what has been a very defensive-oriented tilt. 2 for Texas A&M and 1 for Alabama. And believe me, with that time remaining, Texas A&M will need all 10-13. This is not the kind of offensive scheme that will amass large chunks of terrain in a short span of time. First down 10, Texas A&M. Pavlis to Lewis, and that's the reason we mentioned that. Off the right side to the 19-yard line. Derek Rushton made the stop.
Another thing, you think that they would try to fake that play or something. They ran that play on first down 6 times, and now all of a sudden they stopped at Alabama. It's a sprint draw play today. They give it to Harris. Lewis, and he's driving forward. It looks like somebody got a piece of his face mask.
Derek Rushton in there, number 78, 2nd and 11. Boy, what a tackle by McCants. I mean, he just absolutely took Lewis by one arm and threw him down to the turf.
I became a favorite of McCants when in the Alabama-Auburn game. In the Alabama-Auburn game, he hurt his shoulder, and they said he's out of the game. And he came back in 5 plays later. Watch him reach over and full strength. What a fine, outstanding football player, and only a sophomore.
That was a weight room tackle by McCants out of Mobile, Alabama. 3rd down, 9 yards to go for the Aggies. 9 minutes to play, and the clock ticking. Pavlis under pressure. It's a fumble, and Alabama will have it at the 16-yard line.
Derek Thomas.
Again, and again. His 4th sack of the game. And that could be one that Pavlis and the rest of that offense will have to live with in the locker room a short time from now.
Right-hand side of your picture, number 69, Moon, who's supposed to block number 55, Thomas, tripped, and that's all he needed. The speed and quickness of Thomas is amazing. He turns the ball game around. Right now, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Texas A&M's chance to win this game. Watch Alabama now.
Setbacks are split. Shaw is in the game, number 43. He's the fullback now for Alabama, and he'll get it. Not much room at all. The entire A&M defensive deployment in there. Basil Jackson was in there along with John Roper to collaborate on the stop. You see the time remaining, and that's the reason I'm sure you're making this bold prediction.
What Alabama will do right now is move the ball in close, not take any chances, kick 3. They'll be ahead 23-10, and they'll defy A&M to catch them in the 4th quarter.
Of course, they have to think, don't turn the ball over, as A&M has twice. And again, premature movement, and the cadence may have been part of the problem, but also the center, Roger Schultz, burst out of the line of scrimmage as well.
No, he snapped the ball, and that's the play. Change the snap count, and this time they go against him. But watch the center. He's taught when the defensive line crosses, that's not a good play by the official. That's a perfect play by the center. When the center gets the defensive line to come across, he snaps the ball. The play before that, they call that on the defense.
Oh, Homer Smith's specialty, perhaps. You see the penalties. Obviously, A&M has had several, and as we mentioned, not only have they had many more, they've committed them at the wrong time. Second down, 15, Alabama. After the penalty against them, Adam Bobb with the tackle this time as Castile gets a couple of yards, and that's it. Third down and long yardage now facing Alabama. 7:47 and counting. Tim Brando and Lee Corso, along with Chris Fowler on the sidelines. The Crimson Tide of Alabama with a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. And this is an interesting call. Do they play for the 3? Well, we'll find out on 3rd and 16 if they go up top.
If I were them, I'd go up to the right-hand corner and try to hit a touchdown or run a draw.
That's exactly what they did. Kevin Turner down to the 13-yard line, obviously playing for the 3, and why not? Philip Doyle has been perfect so far tonight, and all year long in the Southeastern Conference, you've had to deal with close games. All of the coaches with the top 7 or 8 teams in that league have had to win by 3 points and 5 points. And I'm sure Bill Curry understands that this could wind up a close game again. Get all you can while you can.
Alabama lost to LSU 19-18 in Auburn, 15-10.
Well, they're 5 plays from being unbeaten. The ball at the 20. Doyle from 30 yards away. It's good. Philip Doyle is connected from 39, 42, and 30 yards. And with 6:42 remaining in College Station, the Tide has rolled to a 13-point lead.
If you've dreamed of the perfect road, we've got the perfect way to drive it. With sure-footed front-wheel drive and 150 fuel-injected turbocharged horsepower, the 1989 Shadow ES Turbo, the new spirit of all-out performance, only from Dodge.
Now get up to $400 cash back on Shadows in stock.
When it comes to making a serious decision, my brother Tom is a lot smarter than he appears to be. Like most thinking Americans, Tom is looking for a contemporary, innovative leader. A leader with quality he can believe in. A leader he can trust. Now, he has looked at a lot of television, listened to claims from all sides. Yes. And after careful consideration, Tom has made the smart choice. And that choice is... Magnavox! The sign.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
Great. But we wanted a Bud Light.
Bud Light! If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Now go get pizza.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Philip Doyle will kick off for Alabama with 6:42 remaining. Texas A&M now needing 2 touchdowns. And 6 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the game. Harris is again back deep along with McAfee for the Aggies. There's Rod Harris. And Doyle has done a great job of making certain that the ball was kicked deeply enough that either the return couldn't get to the 20 or there was no return at all.
He's got to be careful because number 17, Rod Harris, is an all-Southwestern Conference wideout, but he's a tremendous kickoff return man also.
Just under 60,000 on hand on a Thursday night in December. Game that should have been played September 17th. McAfee from the 10 dumped at the 23-yard line. Downfield, Steve Webb, number 84 in white, to make the stop for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Well, it's obvious they must break the game plan to a certain extent now. A&M cannot afford to methodically move downfield when they have 2 touchdowns yet to score.
And Alabama will change his defense. They'll play softer in the secondary and turn number 55 Lewis and number 59 Bethune loose to get that quarterback.
Could it be Jackie Sherrill's last game here? That answer to come later. He's concerned about the last 6 minutes plus. And once again, the Alabama defense converging. John Mangum and company on Darren Lewis out of bounds. There's Jackie. His career record, he's a winner everywhere he's been. 105 wins, 44 losses, 2 ties. One of the reasons you believe he's headed to the NFL is simply because the NCAA will no longer be something he has to deal with.
Plus the fact he's won over 70% of his games, he'll get an offer too good to refuse. And why mess around with the NCAA in a college football anymore?
He has some definite opinions. 2nd down, 15 out of a slot. Pavlis in some trouble now, getting the heat from Cole and company, one of those Smurf tackles. Well, you have to be impressed with the speed of 51 Cole cutting through there from that tackle spot. He, along with Willie Wyatt, with a lot of heat.
The problem with Pavlis right now is the defensive linemen are not worried about anything else but hitting him. And that's a very, very tough position to be in. 98 Watt gave him a kiss right there. He's from Gardendale, Alabama, and boy, he kissed him right there in the face. Boom.
That reminded me a bit of the Stams hit on Rodney Peete last Saturday after that interception. 3rd down now and 15 yards to go for the Aggies. Here comes the rush. There goes the pass, and it's incomplete for Oliver. Fans want interference, but there are no flags. John Mangum again blanketed Oliver, and Pavlis once again picks himself off the turf.
I notice the defensive linemen are they don't care about anything. Plus, they send number 42, Osment, the strong safety after him. Why not? They know, number one, that Texas A&M doesn't have a game breaker. They know the quarterback's having a tough time pass protection. You must keep aggressiveness going the full 60 minutes of the game.
The Aggies now forced to punt with 6:20 to play. Watch Mangum now, 29, in the coverage here as the pass is released for Oliver.
Remember, both men can go for the football. They're both extended. Good call by the official that time.
Sean Wilson will get it away at about his 8-yard line. Shanked a bit, but a fair catch called for by Hill at the 46-yard line. 6:13 to play. We'll return to College Station in a moment. It's an uphill battle for Sherrill and company.
A regular beer with a watered-down taste. When it's Miller Lite less filling, tastes great. Less filling, tastes great. Less filling, tastes great.
Hi, John Stallworth here.
Hello, John.
You can't believe what they've done to me at Total Vision TV and Appliance Rental. Well, ho, ho, ho. I know Total Vision has high-quality merchandise like living room sets and bedroom sets, and I know they have excellent service and payments. And I know Total Vision rents major appliances. But why did I agree to wear this Santa suit?
For the bucks, John.
Right. Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas from Total Vision TV and Appliance Rental.
Journal. With an 8-foot bed, South Dakota is all work. With a 3.9-liter V6, North Dakota is all play. The unique mid-size Dodge Dakota. 2 pickups for the price of 1.
The new spirit of Dodge. Tough new spirit of Dodge.
In Aggie Land, they don't have cheers or cheerleaders. They have yells and yell leaders, these guys in the good humor costumes, and they practice the yells at midnight before every home game. Now, every cheer or every yell, excuse me, has a hand signal. The yell leaders give them, and all the students know what they are. Let's see it. Here's the hand signal, and you'll see all the students repeat it, and then they get into the cheer. And this is the most vocal, the most loyal student body crowd in America.
And they know their signals. Salty Parker types. Third base coaches, all of them. Thank you, Chris. Out of an I formation, Alabama at the 46-yard line. Hill up to the 49 after a gain of 3. Terry Price made the stop. And remember, the clock ticks, 6 minutes and counting. Timeout still with Texas A&M. They need the ball twice, and they need touchdowns both times.
Two things that Alabama will do. One, they'll tell everybody that touches the football 2 hands on it. And number 2, they'll instruct all of their men, do not go out of bounds.
Look at that. Total yards in the fourth quarter. A&M -9. Alabama with 69. And in this game, that's important. That's a lot of yardage, showing the defense that Texas A&M has. Castile gets the ball. Markers down prior to the snap.
The left guard, number 74, moved. There'll be an illegal procedure, 5 yards. The worst thing about that, Tim, it stops the clock. It drives a coach crazy when you have a penalty when you're trying to run the clock out.
Larry Rose. He's a fine offensive guard, really the best they have along that offensive front in the minds of many. Out of Gadsden, Alabama, a sophomore.
Who's married and has a daughter. He's one of the few married players. One of the things I liked about him is during the football season, he moves into the dorm and doesn't live with his wife. Now, that's dedication.
Yeah. Or stupidity. Second down and 12. Smith rolling the opposite direction with that left arm, and Battle's got it down at the 27-yard line. Marco Battle, and Alex Morris takes him down. How many times have we seen him do this? Roll right and throw left.
But the one thing, notice how well coached he is. He squares his shoulders, throws the ball overhead. Perfect throw and a very, very fine throw, but a most important call by Homer Smith. Remember, Alabama is winning the fourth quarter 10-0. It goes back to that one graph we had.
You bet. They have dominated fourth quarter play all year long. Out of an I formation. Castile stopped in his tracks. Hazel Jackson out of Hammond, Louisiana, the senior, made the stop. Hammond, about 30 miles or so southeast of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The recruiting battles in that state and in Texas between LSU and A&M have been well documented over the years. Sports Center coming up tonight. Bob Lee and Chris Berman will bring you up to date on the National Hockey League and NBA scores and all other news in sports tonight. There's the pitch again. Castile, and markers are down in the Alabama backfield. Lafayette Turner corralling Castile.
Well, that official did it. That has to be holding because he threw it right at the offensive left side.
By the way, you see Joe Avizano. He's the one vehemently arguing with the officials along with Jackie Sherrill. The last time Jackie Sherrill lost a game here was in his season opener in '87 against LSU. He's won 24 of his last 25 games here in College Station. They're not used to this. And that's why they're so upset. We'll wait for Wendell Shelton to give us the official call. It appears to be face mask. We'll take a look at it here.
Offense. Repeat. Second down.
You know, it's what they're yelling about. They're yelling at the face mask Alabama is, but it was a holding call in the offensive line. And you can tell the location of the flag can usually tell you what kind of penalty it was.
Could have been a second one, though, it appeared, didn't it? Not flagrant, but he definitely had the mask. Second down, 21 for Alabama. Smith, 11 of 18, 129 yards and a couple of touchdowns. They'll put it up this time. Or tuck it and go. Lets it fly, and that's Battle again. Or Castile, I beg your pardon, the running back coming out of the backfield, and there's the clock again running under 4 minutes to play. David Castile, number 28, rather than 88 on the receiving end. Down to the 21-yard line. Shaw checks back in. Stewart comes out. It's been a regular shuttle bus in the Alabama backfield tonight.
Maybe that's why they win the fourth quarter. They play a lot of players, and they're all fresh.
Third down, 4. Smith. That's 5 in a row he's completed. This one to Greg Payne. Mickey Washington made the stop. And this has been a David Smith drive.
Fakes the ball this time to the tailback. Low angle as he rolls out to his left. This is a little easier for him to throw. He throws it on a run beautifully to Payne, who makes a move to the outside, fakes, gets Washington to move with him, and then breaks it up for 5 more yards. The selection of the play calling in this series is brilliant, but very, very chancy.
Prince Wembley is in the game at 1 wide receiver spot, and there you see the numbers mounting for David Smith. Out of an eye set. And they go to Castile again, the senior. Cracking inside the 10. And Texas A&M will utilize one of the timeouts they have remaining. They can ill afford points given up at this point. 2:45 is left. The Hurricane Bowl winding down in the eye of the tide.
There's finally a little guy that does everything the big guys do. Introducing Minolta's Maxim 3000i, the world's smallest, most affordable autofocus SLR. The first easy little camera that does it all with any lens. And big camera technology in a small body means results that are absolutely incredible. The big little Maxim 3000i.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
From the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
ESPN is your ticket to the NFL when the Pittsburgh Steelers and Houston Oilers go head-to-head. Pittsburgh's forged steel curtain ignites the flame on one of the NFL's great rivalries. The Oilers' explosive defense adds fuel to the already raging fire. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Houston Oilers go head-to-head on NFL Sunday Night Football at 8 Eastern live on ESPN.
Oh, happy birthday signature from the Alabama contingent. Right now they're happy because their team leads by 13, 2:45 to play. This drive, another outstanding one. Crimson Tide trying to end it with a 13-point lead already. 2nd and 10. Murray Hill, touchdown Alabama. Well, the Crimson Tide and Bill Curry, along with his staff, and particularly Homer Smith, we've talked about him so much. Jackie Sherrill obviously recognizing that the end is near, and those seniors obviously know that this could be their last game ever. And those, of course, 12th men players, guys that walked on to make this team. And Homer Smith has called a brilliant game up in the press box for Coach Curry tonight.
Don Lindsay, the defensive quarterback who worked at USC, Arkansas, and Georgia Tech, who's coached a lot of great linebackers who say Thomas could be the best of all, has also kept Texas A&M to 10. It's 30-10. Alabama won the 4th quarter so far, 17-0.
Here's Hill again, and this is as basic as it gets.
Nice little sprint draw action. He gets a good block by the fullback on number 24, Bob. And there goes Murray Hill. Terrific play by number 24, Turner, to block number 24, Bob, and allow number 45, Murray Hill, to score a touchdown. That is now 30-10 Alabama.
Jackie Sherrill, as we mentioned, embroiled in a controversy that's had just about every television station that's been beamed into College Station reporting that he would be announcing his resignation at the end of this game, or perhaps in the subsequent weeks that follow, facing a defeat that he hasn't tasted at College Station since the opening game in September of 1987 against LSU.
It's also a bitter defeat because it's against his alma mater, Alabama, because he played for the Bear at Alabama.
Jackie obviously pacing the sidelines, waiting for time to tick down now with less than 3 minutes to play. This is Horton, the up back, coming away with it for the Aggies. He's up beyond the 20 to the 22-yard line. A late fumble, but the whistle had already blown, and the Aggies will come out first down. We talked about Alabama being difficult to play in the fourth quarter, and those numbers certainly bear that fact out.
Well, you can ask the University of Kentucky. Kentucky had Alabama beat, and Alabama scored 24 points in the fourth quarter to beat them.
Alabama, Bino really is Elvis. Nice idea, but they misspelled Bino. Creative, but they didn't get the job done. Pavlis to throw. That's Oliver over the middle, out to the 25-yard line. The offense obviously now in the hurry-up for Texas A&M. McCants and Shepard made the stop. Pavlis, a sophomore. He's got a couple of years left. Some of his teammates don't. This is their last 2:15. A&M with one timeout remaining. They may have to use it soon. That's Oliver again. Well, they haven't been able to get the ball to him tonight until this drive. The clock will stop momentarily while the chains move on the first down play after the 10-yard pickup. George Thornton made the stop for Alabama, number 94, the sophomore. Less than 2 minutes to play. Pavlis to Thornton, incomplete. It's 11:30 Eastern time, 10:30 Central time, and that, of course, is usually the time Sports Center comes your way, and it's on the way, folks, believe me. Chris Berman and Bob Lee are on the way to bring you up to date on all the happenings in the sports world tonight immediately following our game.
This has got to be a big win also for the athletic director, the former Duke head coach Steve Sloan. You know, when a football coach like Bill Curry, who everybody respects, is under pressure, that doesn't help the athletic director's position because he's put in the middle.
Second down now for the Aggies from the 35. Robert Wilson now moves into the fullback spot. They run the option. Pavlis out of bounds just shy of the 45-yard line. Lee Osmond, number 42 in white, was over there to help Pavlis out of bounds. There are some of the A&M contingent.
One thing about Alabama, they got a fine football team, and most of them are juniors and seniors. You look at A&M, they got 9 seniors, 6 juniors, 6 sophomores, and 1 freshman coming back.
Our Casio player of the game, that should be no surprise. David Smith of Alabama, 13 out of 20, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but it didn't play a role in the outcome of this game. And that's Wilson off the left side to the 48-yard line, a gain of 3. Second down and 7 coming up. Thornton again made the stop. We were looking at Leon Cole and Terry Price there moments ago. Price will have another year. 1:42 to play. But Leon Cole, number 74, his career is done. And Smith, he has 1 more game left against Army in the Sun Bowl. That one's lost out of bounds by Harris, just shy of the 40 of Alabama. John Mangum is over there to provide coverage for the Crimson Tide. Don't forget Saturday, it all begins with College Game Day. Bino Cook and Kerry Ross will join me. And then at 4:30 Eastern time, Pitt, Mike Godfrey's club against Syracuse, the 18th ranked Orangemen. And then BYU against 2nd ranked Miami. And if they want to lay claim to a national title on January 2, they'll have to get past the Cougars. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz from the backside. Derek Thomas, among others. How many more will he get?
Well, he won't. That's one thing that Thomas will miss in the bowl game, is sacking the quarterback. He plays against the wishbone team, Army, who rarely throws the ball, so he'll have to play more run defense. It won't be as much fun.
Fundamentally sound club, too, Jim Young's team. The kind of team that will always win with that kind of offense at the level of play that Army's playing at right now.
I've seen both teams play. I've seen Alabama and I've seen Army. Army has a nice offense, But let me tell you something. Alabama has got a lot of good football players and be very, very difficult for Army to beat them.
Derek Thomas, you're involved with the Butkus Award. You're on their board, and you know that was a very close battle between he and Broderick
Wait a
Thomas.
minute. No, I'm not on the board. I'm a member of the club, of the Downtown Athletic Club of Orlando, but our esteemed colleague.
Oh, yes, Serbino. That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you used some political clout there getting him on, I know. I'm half wrong. Just half. Derek Thomas wins by a couple of votes, and you could make a case for Thomas. Well, there were great linebackers this year, and of course the Outland Trophy will be awarded soon, and we'll have that announcement here on ESPN later this week.
Speaking of boards, I am on one board, I'd like to say, and I'm very proud to be on this. In Kentucky, the Hall of Fame group in Louisville give the Johnny Unitas Award, named after Unitas for the outstanding quarterback in the country, and I'm on that board. And that will be named next week.
So a lot of announcements about the individual honors in college football forthcoming in the next 7 days. A minute 17 to play fourth quarter. 3rd and 18 for Texas A&M. Pavlis once again trying to get away from the pressure. Out of bounds, incomplete. You know, we talked about it, and I want to mention it again. 30 points for Alabama. I don't suppose many people figured that many points would be scored by either team tonight. We billed it as a defensive game. In the Southeastern Conference all year, the Derek Thomases, the Tracy Rockers, the Sanchos of the world have been on defense. A lot of quarterbacks and a lot of great running backs have been injured, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't seen the high-scoring games in the Southeastern Conference this year.
One of the reasons they scored 30 tonight was the play calling of Homer Smith, the game plan, but the execution of David Smith from Rainbow City, Alabama was the key. 4th
down and 18. Last gasp now for Pavlis, shooting for Rod Harris. Inside the 10, Mangum pulled it away. John Mangum with the interception, the cornerback. The junior out of McGee, Mississippi. It's a long punt, but it's statistics time for Mangum, and Alabama will get the ball. Lance Pavlis dejected for obvious reasons.
Well, he's had so much pressure on him. It's very, very difficult to bring a team back against a great team like Alabama in the fourth quarter. He did an incredible job today. They didn't have enough balance early in the game to keep Alabama off balance, though.
Setbacks are split. Behind Smith, they go down to one knee. If for some reason some of the rumors that we've been hearing about Jackie Sherrill and a forthcoming announcement are indeed true, and he has steadfastly said, no way, I am staying as the head football coach at Texas A&M. In fact, he said earlier this week, there is no credible source outside of me, and I'm not going anywhere. But just in case, we are standing by during SportsCenter, and we'll be able to update you if, in fact, some sort of announcement comes in his post-game news conference. Bill Curry, on the other hand, looking ahead to his game coming up with Army in the Sun Bowl.
Bill Curry's had good training, graduated from Georgia Tech, and he played for, listen to this, Bobby Dodd, Vince Lombardi, and Don Shula. Just hanging around those three guys. You should learn enough to win some games.
Bill Curry, you see, that's not perspiration on that sweater, folks. That's a little relief. You got the Bill Parcells act, actually the Harry Carson job from from Derek Thomas.
There is no thrill in the world to be under the pressure like that. Have him got you with the, it doesn't make a difference. That felt beautiful. And have him carry off the field. There's no thrill in the world to be beleaguered as a head football coach and have your team pick you up and carry across the field.
And a show of class from both coaches. Well, as Bobby McFerrin once said, Coach Corso, don't worry, be happy. The cool Curry is happy right now.
Come on, baby, come to Daddy.
Those awkward first steps. There are times when you just can't hold your camcorder steady, and that can ruin your precious shots. So Panasonic introduces the camcorder with electronic image stabilization. It can help hold your shot steady, even when you're not. So for shots that give your family something to chatter about, get the OmniMovie camcorder with EIS from Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Roger, sometimes I wish you were a fish.
Coast, the scent opens your eyes. Coast lather, spirits start to rise. Coast is the way to make you feel alive.
Roger. Want to go to the park?
Coast, feel alive with Coast.
United Airlines. From the ground up, we dedicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
The Alabama Crimson Tide beat the Texas A&M Aggies tonight in the Hurricane Bowl by a final score of 30-10. David Smith, an outstanding performance. Bill Curry, a happy man, and why not? Getting his 8th victory of the year. For Lee Corso and Chris Fowler, I'm Tim Brando saying so long from College Station.